Let's get nasty on a Tuesday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 2:02 your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. No Carey Davis again.
What?
Hopefully he'll be back. What? I think tomorrow maybe.
Did you say hopefully?
Hopefully he'll be back tomorrow.
He'll be back tomorrow.
I think so.
We want to be a full team.
Ominous. Like hopefully he'll be back.
Well, I'm just saying hopefully we get an opportunity to see him tomorrow. You know, that's all.
Just sounds very final.
I can't wait to have him back.
I can't either.
He's a key member of our team. We love him.
Of course he is. Just the way he said it was just a little weird.
Okay, fair enough. You know, it wasn't weird. A 10-5 beatdown of the Angels last night, huh, boys?
Oh, yeah.
Marsh, you said at one point, specifically when Paul Goldschmidt grounded into the double play, you sent out a text.
Yeah, that was a loud out.
It was a loud week out. But you said, I turned this thing off.
I turned it off.
Next thing you know, they were beating the you-know-what out of the Angels.
I turned the game off after the double play, and I said, I'm done. Mm-hmm. I'm done. I can't keep watching this. I'll go back and watch the recap later. I can't watch. I can't sit through this anymore.
Yeah.
And then I got a few messages, updates on my phone coming through. Oh, the Cardinals are up 5-4. I was like, what? Then they're up 10-5. They end up winning the game.
Yeah, they
had some competitive at-bats, Andrew.
However, I did not go back and watch it once they took the lead. I was like, you know what? If they end up losing, it'll be my fault. So I'm going to go ahead and just take the night off. I'll let them do their thing, and they ended up winning.
That was very honorable.
They still got him. Because
he's still on the hook.
He's still on the hook. If he wasn't, he'd have turned that thing right back on. But look at Marshy.
Don't you do that.
He so answered the text last night.
Did you get a text last night?
I did not.
You up? Marshy's like, damn right.
Did you get the you up text?
I did not get the you up text.
So proud of you guys.
I might get it tonight, though, because Sonny Gray's on the mound, and I think he's going to bounce back.
They won a game yesterday.
Yep.
And last night.
Well, you know what? It was much like
2 in a row.
It was much like the if I was an Angels fan, I could have just turned it off and be like, hey, they won, 4-0.
That's what Anthony does.
Yeah.
With most of his teams.
I did one time.
This time.
Yeah, I did one time. A certain football team and a certain football game. So the question now is, even though it's only 2 games, they have come from behind twice now. They did score 10 runs. Some of their key pieces, such as Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado homered last night, they have looked a lot better the last 2 games. Is there real, tangible evidence, even in a small sample size, Jamie, that would lead you to believe that this team might be turning it around offensively?
No. Now, that being said.
Really?
Yeah, really. Honestly. You can't tell me that.
You're not weighing the last 2 games against the previous whatever.
Here's what I'm weighing, is that they won last night, and that's all I care about.
Yeah.
Honestly, this Cardinals team has had a disastrous start to the season, and they won their last game here. Or they won the last game before. That's 2 in a row. We're making fun of it, but it's 2 in a row now. And they have not played great baseball. They beat a team that played worse than them yesterday. But you know what? I don't care. Because 2 weeks ago, the Cardinals were finding ways to lose those games, a la Chicago White Sox series, right? You found a way to lose that series to the White Sox, whereas yesterday you found a way to win against a very terrible Angels team that certainly didn't want to win that game either. And do I think that the offense is showing something? No. The base is loaded. Paul Goldschmidt hits into a double play. A couple of hit by pitches and a couple of walks, and you scored 4 runs off of hit by pitches and walks.
That's correct.
So, no, the offense isn't fixed. I mean, guys are more willing to sacrifice and lean into a pitch. Yes. And maybe they got a better eye at the plate. Yes. But none of those runs came with contact to a bat.
Hey, Matt Carpenter delivered a huge
I said
base knock.
Those specific runs, Anthony. Apart from that, I'm not even going to dog on Matt Carpenter. He's one of the hottest Cardinals we have in the lineup right now.
You got to leave him, all seriousness, you got to leave him right there at the leadoff spot.
And I'm happy for him.
Let him go. Let him roll.
I also think that's part of the solution here, too. Why did the Cardinals sign Matt Carpenter?
To provide veteran leadership, and if things start to go sideways, he can cook up enough salsa to get everybody back on board.
Okay, maybe, right? But I watched him yesterday, and people can, Marcia, you can laugh all you want, okay,
he
buddy?
takes good at bats.
Yeah, you just stop right now, okay? A serious point here. Watch
I'm
Matt
being serious.
I watched Matt Carpenter yesterday, and he takes that at bat. He gets on base, and everybody's fired up. You know, they're probably surprised at what's going on, but that doesn't matter. They're happy for him.
Yeah.
And you got to find something. And Marcy knows he played enough hockey. Anthony played enough baseball and football. When your team is not playing well, and you start to just slightly turn a corner, it doesn't necessarily that the Cardinals are going to run downhill now and rattle off 10 wins in a row, but it means they're not finding ways to shoot themselves in the foot. Mm-hmm. And now the feel-good moments are more prevalent.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I'm not ready to sit here and go, wow, that's a playoff team. No.
Right.
Although I did place a wager on the Cardinals while I was in Vegas.
Oh.
Just going to tell you that go Birds. If they win the division, boys, we're going away for the weekend.
Okay, fair enough. I like that.
Like we as in all of us?
Like the fast lane. I can't afford all of our listeners. I can't afford 12 more people.
Hey.
Whoa! What?
The 12 dedicated listeners.
Yeah,
they
they
should
are.
have the opportunity to go to Vegas.
They are. But I just think that it's finally some positive things. I don't think anything's fixed at all.
Right.
But at least you're winning the games.
Mm-hmm.
I do think last night's victory was massive in terms of keeping the momentum from Sunday's win, because now the way that you won these past two games have all been, they've both been coming from behind, right? You end up winning after you're losing early in games, and then you find ways to, whether it's walking or whatever. Nolan Arenado hit a home run yesterday, which was big. Good for him. Hopefully he can continue to do that. But the way that they have won these past two games gives team some life, knowing that, oh, wow, okay, doesn't matter what the score is, whatever, what inning it is, we have enough juice to win a ball game when we're down late in the game.
Yeah. I don't care where the confidence comes from, where it comes from, how it's delivered. You absolutely need to develop some confidence now moving forward, or at least that. No, it's just confidence. It's just confidence.
Anything positive.
You got Nolan Arenado hit a home run. Nolan Gorman 2 hits last night. Ivan Herrera a couple of hits. Donovan with a hit. Mason with a huge hit. Siani with another nice play in center field. I mean, they're starting to build some confidence now moving forward. You're right. Nothing's fixed. You can't erase what happened the previous X amount of games just because they won their last two. But we all want to see them stage a comeback or at least be competitive, because it's not fun to talk about any sort of rebuilds. I would rather talk about a team that is not a legit contender to win anything significant outside of the division, but I'd rather talk about somebody that is actually in contention to challenge for the division, as opposed to this and what we saw last year. So I'm with you guys. Nothing's fixed, but man, it's fun to just see them win a damn game.
And it's baby steps, too. So before you can win the division, you have to win series, right? Before you can win series, you have to win tonight's game so we can get the Sounders back for the lineup game tomorrow.
Very, very good point.
You have to have
I still don't know why you're holding the listeners
set.
accountable.
Because look what's happening. Look what's happening.
Setting a standard.
I understand.
Somebody's got to do it around here.
Well, you're not wrong there.
Okay, I'm trying to back you up here.
Why did he look at you?
Yeah, you just ricocheted.
Well, no, I'm not.
You stared right at Anthony. First of all, you shouldn't be doing that.
I'm not. I'm staring at his forehead.
Second of all, you
It's like a
stared
cheat
right at
code.
him when you said that.
Thank you, Jamie. Remind him.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about the team.
Anyways, they won. Huh? They won, boys. What'd you guys think of Matthew Liberatore?
Yeah.
Nah,
So
we'll
they
get into
won.
that. You know what? We'll get into that. We'll get into that next. Why don't we just stick with the positive vibes here? Matt Carpenter leading off. You just run it back tonight. Just put the same lineup together. Let's go.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why not? You scored 10 runs last night.
4 of them where you didn't swing a bat.
I don't care how it was done.
That's pretty impressive.
I don't care
impressive.
I don't care that Goodman couldn't throw the ball, accurately 6 feet in front of the catcher.
The best part was Jimmy Edmonds talking about that. Not quite sure why he keeps throwing that breaking ball. He hasn't located it once. Hey, meanwhile, the pitch comm is broken. Just keeps saying breaking ball, breaking ball.
Yeah, so he just keeps throwing it up there. But you do have Sonny Gray tonight. You got Sonny Gray on the hill. You know he's going to bounce back after a suspect outing last Friday against the Brewers, or Thursday, whatever it was. Reed Detmer's on the hill. Actually, he's a lefty, so you probably won't see the amount of lefties tonight. But Matt Carpenter's definitely back. We're turning the clock. We're turning the clock back.
Great text message from the 618 regarding the lineup game. And without failure, the 618 says, Sounders are for winners. Get above 500.
That's what Marsh is trying to do right now.
I mean, it just made me laugh because it's 618. Like,
Sure.
Of course.
Well, is he wrong?
No.
Sounders are for winners.
And listen, I really
if they win tonight, then we get the Sounders back. Okay?
I haven't disagreed with the 618 for quite a while now.
Yeah.
A month or two.
He's right.
I think this is how this is going to go, at least for the majority of the season. If you lose a series, you lose the right to Sounders.
So then do you have to win the next series to get him back?
Yep.
Or is it active? Like as soon as the Cardinals win 2 games out of a series to get the Sounders back?
Well, yes.
That would be,
But
yes.
it's not. The series isn't over yet.
But you would have still won the series.
I know, but I'm just saying.
So if they win tonight, we'll get the Sounders back tomorrow until it is official that they lose the next series.
So the next series, if they lose the first game, win the second game, then the third game they win, do they get the Sounders back? Because it's a reverse of what we just said?
Yeah, they won this series.
So then is it automatic then? Are the Sounders back automatically for the next series?
Yeah, they're like grandfathered in.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
Until
guys.
they lose again.
Hey,
I know,
we
you're
take
trying
things
to
very
I'm
seriously.
just saying, we're trying to set some rules right here.
Remember
Rules
the
and
rule book that I
regulations.
have for the Gauntlet?
Yes.
Okay?
Yep.
Want to make sure that we have a steady rule book for this, too.
You know, we got a rule for the home run derby. Did Carey get his last night, too? Did he have Arenado for the home run derby?
Oh,
I forgot my piece of paper at home. I took my pad of paper out. I don't know why. I was going to things to do list, I think is what I was going to do. And I couldn't remember what I needed to do, so I put it away. I'm not kidding you. I brought out this tablet of paper, Anthony.
Yeah.
The things to do list, because, brain damage is real. Mm-hmm. And I started writing down a couple things and just blacked out. I couldn't remember anything that I had to do till I got here today. Didn't have my notepad and remembered a whole bunch of things I had to do. But then I had no notepad to write them down.
Jamie,
so
it
now
happens.
they're lost again.
he did not.
In the ether.
He did not have.
Oh, no.
Okay.
He had Matt Carpenter.
Oh, that's
big,
right.
Hey, big knock. Just, didn't drive one out of the park. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. What are our thoughts on Matthew Liberatore's performance? And also the bigger conversation is why can't some of these young pitchers turn the corner for the Cardinals? That's next on 101 ESPN. The Missouri Athletic Club, kind of a one-stop shop for everything that I'm looking for when it comes to working out or, utilizing the club for a variety of reasons when it comes to the family. Love going downtown. If I'm going to a Cardinals game, I'll just park right there at the Missouri Athletic Club. A lot of times I'll get something to eat, the Jack Buckaroo. It's just delicious. It's awesome. Maybe have a drink or two, head down, take the shuttle over to the Cardinals game, and then right back to the MAC. But when it comes to, kind of the daily routine, again, working out or, just kind of getting to know different people. They got different personal training that they have there too. It's a club within a club, and a lot of the times I'm always looking at their board. I'm like, man, that's a whole bunch of stuff I'd love to do and try too. So they always have new stuff going on. That's my MAC, the Missouri Athletic Club.
This one deep toward the left field corner. After it is Donovan. That ball is gone. Into the front row. It's Kevin Pillar lining a 2-run homer. And the Angels have 4 here in the third.
Well, that's 2 baseballs Pillar has crushed today. One ended up being a double play. This ends up being a 2-run home run.
That was the Angels TV broadcast on the call last night. Matthew Liberatore, shaky performance, shaky start. 3 1/3, scattered 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 1 K. Only 60 pitches, and he unfortunately put the Cardinals in a 4-0 hole.
Right where they wanted him.
In the 3rd inning, and it was right where they wanted him because, lo and behold, they had an 8-run 7th inning just waiting for him. And it took him off the hook for a loss, but nonetheless, Matthew Liberatore shaky again. So, I mean, one, we can kind of just break down his performance. He was hit hard.
Did you hear the crack off the bat?
Yeah. I mean, which at bat?
Well, a lot of them, like those couple of cracks that Pillar had.
Oh, the one was the home run that the call there, that was a missile.
It was unreal.
It barely got off the ground.
Even the one that Arenado jumped up and grabbed there, ripped that one, and just crack. Sounded like lightning had struck.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Wasn't great.
The biggest takeaway for me, I saw a lot of 3-2 counts, so there were opportunities for him to put guys away, but it doesn't seem like he has that pitch. Now, he has that breaking ball that for right-handed hitters that will, that back foot slider that can work.
But if he misses,
then either it's a ball, the guy's taking a walk, and we saw a few walks as well. I just don't know if he has that put-away pitch that he's established so far in his MLB career.
Right. So this is kind of the spot the Cardinals are in right now. They need a starter because Steven Matz is hurt again. They give an opportunity to a young guy that clearly they had a lot of faith in, and he failed. We've seen this before. Dakota Hudson was kind of that, he's fine. Zach Thompson, I had high hopes for Zach Thompson coming into the year. You mentioned this yesterday. He has taken a step back this year.
He was penciled in to compete for a rotation spot.
Right. So now we're in a spot where you look at it and you say, why can't these young Cardinals pitchers turn the corner? And what do you do moving forward? Do you continue to, do you give Matthew Liberatore an opportunity to draw a couple more starts? Do you immediately shift him? I imagine they'll just shift him back to the bullpen as soon as Steven Matz is healthy. But that doesn't really solve your issue. Exactly.
Come on.
When Matz inevitably gets hurt again, what do? This is an organization right now that is having a difficult time developing these young pitchers.
So we got a text here early from the Air Comfort Service text line. That number is 314-399-9646. You can chime in all day throughout the show, and you can jump on the Air Alliance YouTube channel in the Snake Pit. Talk to us there, too. But this one comes from 314. That Oli needs to stop messing with Libby. Everyone can see that he's better out of the pen than the rotation. His managerial skill is laughable. So here's where I'm going to disagree with the 314. What choice does Oli have? What's a better choice right now than Matthew Liberatore? Zach Thompson? He's still struggling to find his game in Memphis. Mm-hmm. Who's a better choice?
I mean, somebody's going to say that's Sam Robersa.
Okay, great. Bring him up.
Because he said good. I know.
No, Anthony, hear me out. Bring him up. And then when he gets knocked around the park, then what? And if he doesn't, great, you win. It's fine. But Matthew Liberatore is the guy you traded a really good prospect for. And he was a high-end prospect, and you've been trying to make that square peg fit in the round hole since you've got him. Mm-hmm. I just don't know what alternative Oli truly has.
Right.
Except for just like spitball. You have to call up Sam Robersa. Mm-hmm. Okay, but then what if it doesn't work? You're back to Matthew Liberatore.
Yeah. So, and you're making moves. You're making roster moves instead of that, which is not a huge deal, I get.
Well, depending on who needs to be on the roster, the 40-man, the 26-man, I don't know, whatever.
But this is where the Cardinals have found themselves a lot with their pitching. They don't do enough in the offseason to give themselves enough options to have somebody. But even then, you suffer injuries. You're not carrying 6 starters. You're not signing 6 guys or however many you need, add one more and say, hey, you're in the bullpen until somebody gets hurt. That's not how it works. A lot of times a veteran starter's not going to sign here if that's the case. Your sixth starter is usually somebody like Matthew Liberatore
Well, it
or
was
Zach Thompson.
this year.
Exactly. So Zach Thompson doesn't work out. Now Liberatore has struggled. I don't necessarily disagree that he ultimately could be just a reliever and that's it. But you need a starter right now. You need somebody to fill in. And I think the bigger question is why can't these guys develop? Are they not getting enough time in the minors? Are they not given enough opportunities at the big league level to just kind of struggle a little bit until they figure it out?
I mean, typically we see this team bring guys up and then put them in the bullpen and then start them. Otherwise, you get maybe they're like a Mike Myers situation comes up when he
that guy was a killer.
He was.
Yeah, that guy was.
This Mike Myers actually did not do so well against the Dodgers in his debut.
Right.
So maybe they don't want something similar happening like that. I don't know.
But that's already happened with Liberatore. They've already
has.
thrown him in the deep end.
Well,
and
I'm
he's
thinking about some of the
drowned,
other guys.
Yeah.
And look, to start the season, this is what the front office was thinking. They had all their guys, the Sonny Gray, Michaelis, Matz, Lance Lynn, and Gibby. That was their five guys. And then Zach Thompson was competing for a spot, Matthew Liberatore competing for a spot.
Yeah.
But the pecking order was actually Zach Thompson as the sixth guy and then Libby as the seventh guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then Zach Thompson underperformed. Steven Matz got hurt, and this is where you're at.
Yeah.
So to your point, though, Anthony, it's hard to find that veteran guy who's going to come in and accept that swingman role.
Right.
To where you're either 2 or 3 innings out of the bullpen, or maybe you're starting a game for 2 or 3 innings in the rotation if you get elevated. Most guys like, screw that.
Yeah.
I'd rather go pitch. So I don't know how you correct it.
Well, I know there's one guy that's still available.
Yep. And boy, is he pitching too. I watched a sequence of his the other day on
Why would you do that,
on
Marsh?
Twitter.
I had to.
You know we can't wait to talk
He's
about it.
throwing good pitches, man. His velocity's at like 95, 96, and the stuff is dropping off a table. Yeah, he's facing guys that aren't MLB guys, but the pitches are still the pitches.
Very true.
He doesn't come with any baggage. I mean, hardly. Yeah, maybe a lot.
He's been off. We haven't really had a chance to talk about him, so thought I'd give him some time.
Yeah. What's trending is
He's
next.
still pitching. I saw it.
101 ESPN. Well, we had another storm today in St. Louis. How's your roof holding up? Is it leaky? You have an old roof, a damaged roof. You don't know if it's damaged, but you know you might have some issues. Call my friends at the Happy Roof Company. They do a great job of having somebody come out there within 24 hours to look at an issue if you do have an issue. Just call them today at 314-665-3001. And if you do call today, again, they're going to have somebody to come out, look at the issue within 24 hours. Happy Roof Company should be your first call. If you do want to completely upgrade your roof, you want a new roof, they do residential and commercial roofing at the Happy Roof Company. They have a great relationship with realtors too. So if you're selling your home and you want to, take your house and increase the value of it, great. Again, they'll give detailed inspection reports for real estate transactions. They have free estimates with competitive pricing, cost-effective solutions of both flat roofing and metal roofs. The Happy Roof Company is fantastic. Financing options are available too. They only use superior high-end products, and they got the 10-year labor warranty on all shingle roofs. That phone number again, 314-665-3001. TheHappyRoof.com is their website. It's the Happy Roof Company. Tell them Stalter sent you.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals win last night 10-5 over the Los Angeles Angels, thanks to Nolan Arenado starting things off with a solo shot in the 7th inning. We talked about some signs of life from your St. Louis Cardinals earlier in the show. If you missed that conversation, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Sonny Gray will take the mound tonight, going up against Reed Detmers. 8:38 first pitch in Los Angeles. The Nuggets taking on the T-Wolves tonight, Game 5. We'll have all the coverage for you right here on 101 ESPN with the pregame starting at 9 o'clock. We have What's Trending coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, the second round of the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs are heating up. I have some storylines that I want to throw your way, and I want you to decide which is probably the biggest as it pertains to their team. We have the Panthers, who can clinch tonight. They lead the series 3-1 against Boston. There is no Brad Marchand for game number 5. The Oilers have switched goaltenders. Calvin Pickard will make his first playoff start in game 4 for Edmonton. The Hurricanes, they scored 4 goals last night in the third period. They now trail 3-2 in the series against the New York Rangers. They're starting to come alive. Jamie said that a few days ago. He thinks they're going to win that series. And Val Nichushkin has been suspended from the Colorado Avalanche, and he will not be in the playoffs the rest of the way if the Colorado Avalanche end up moving on. But the way things look as of last night, I don't know if that is going to happen. What do you guys think? What stands out from the playoffs so far in this second round?
Well, the Nichushkin news was huge yesterday for several reasons. One, I feel bad for the guy. He's had a relapse of some kind with his substance abuse, and it sucks because he's obviously got some demons that he's dealing with, and he can't keep it on the rails. So for the individual, that's tough times, and wish him nothing but the best. But now from a team standpoint, it's a massive blow to the Avalanche. He's their top goal scorer in the playoffs, and now he's gone. Day of a game, they find out the news, and their goaltending has been, suspect at best.
Yeah.
Georgiev's been tough. So I think for me, the biggest news or story from that is the Nichushkin loss. He's a big, strong forward. He's a hell of a player, putting goals in. You know, they're going to miss him tremendously on that power play. And you could see last night, it just didn't look like the same team.
Now, you said you obviously feel bad for him, being that, he's back in the player assistance program. What did you see Jack Johnson's comments? Like, what is going through your mind as a
himself?
Okay, I wanted to know what your thoughts are as a teammate when a situation happens like that.
I understand the emotions because you'd probably feel like you're let down. Your teammate couldn't keep his act together. Jack Johnson has no idea what Nichushkin's dealing with. He has no idea what level the substance abuse is or whatever it is. He has no idea. Until you walk a mile in somebody's shoes, just shut up. Jack Johnson, too. Come on, bro. Who the hell do you think you are? Like, he's pivotal on that team. Like, give me a break. Sorry, is that too real?
No, I liked it.
It's a big loss for your team, but
he doesn't
watch what you say.
He doesn't want to do it.
It's not like he's sitting there, hey, I want to screw over my teammates.
Right. You said it well, Jamie. Until you walk a mile in somebody's shoes, until you know what that's like, until you are gripped by something like that, and you feel like you're letting everybody down, and
did Jack Johnson let everybody down when he went bankrupt because he signed over all his things over to the wrong people, and he caused a huge distraction on the team that he was on? Well, thanks, Jack. Your financial woes have ruined me. just be quiet, dude. You got your own graveyard. Go lay in there. Like, everybody's got their own stuff.
Be supportive, and if you can't be supportive, then don't say anything.
Yeah, I agree.
How about you, Anthony?
In terms of the NHL playoffs, like the storylines, unfortunately, it's the Hurricanes and the Rangers.
Yeah, I'm getting a little uneasy when I'm watching these games.
I say unfortunately because I was all in on saying that series was over with. And I thought the Rangers actually played very well in Game 4 when they wound up falling. Did that game go to overtime?
I believe it did.
No, it didn't. Sorry. It was 4-3. But
it scored like under 3 minutes to go.
There you go.
So the game before.
Yeah, so they
went to overtime.
So the Hurricanes got up 3-1, and the Rangers scored. They tallied 1 in the second, tied it up in the third. I thought they played incredibly well despite losing. So I expected them to win last night. But Jamie's been right. That series is not over. The way that the Hurricanes can push, I wouldn't be shocked if it's tied up and it comes down to a Game 7. So I think that's among all the storylines that are great. That was one of the biggest ones to stick out to me.
The walls are crumbling down a little bit around the Rangers here, and now they've got to go back down to Carolina's barn where it is. I think they're 19-6 in the last 2 or 3 years in playoffs in their home barn. That's a tough spot to play. The place is rowdy. This could be a series, man.
Yeah.
This could come back. I just think that the pressure that the Carolina Hurricanes are putting on the Rangers, and you look at the games, they've been lopsided. Outshot almost 2-1 almost every single game.
Yeah.
That's a lot put on your goaltender, on your defensive structure, and you're starting to see the walls crack a little bit right now. And Carolina looks like a team that has, probably all the momentum right now.
Yeah.
This is interesting. We were talking about this in the office. Green Bay hires Doug Gottlieb as their men's basketball head coach. What is going on here? How is he going to do that and do everything else, too?
Well, apparently, did you say that he was still going to do his radio show, too?
As of right now, it has been announced that not only is he going to be the head coach of a men's basketball team, he's also going to continue his full-time radio show. Let me tell you something, Anthony. It's hard to do both of those things at once.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Not easy running a team now, is it, Tom?
I don't see how this works. We went through this a little bit. Now this is a little different because it's Green Bay and the expectations. It's not like he's going to Kentucky or something like that.
They're trying to win the NFC North, Anthony. There should be the expectations every single year for that franchise.
This is different. This is college basketball.
Oh, gotcha.
University.
I got confused because of the name.
But we did see this a little bit with Jeff Saturday, speaking of the NFL, going to the Colts. And I just don't see how it works. I was listening
Does Doug Gottlieb have any coaching experience?
No, none. He played college ball. His claim to fame was putting on his uniform backwards, like his shorts backwards the one time.
What are we doing
his claim
here?
to fame.
Oh, boy.
Look, I was listening to Michael Lombardi and his podcast talk about what Bill Belichick used to do the moment the NFL draft was over with. The moment the NFL draft is over with, he had all of his front office people over the next 6 weeks studying a certain conference. And then when they came back in 6 weeks, he wanted detailed reports because he too was going to go over all. Like, this is what Belichick is doing. Now, that's the NFL. I get it. But the point is, the level of detail that it takes to be a coach and a scout and to understand and also you're running a program. You're the face of it.
Well, and you're part of the recruiting process.
Everything.
Yeah.
It's not, what coaching philosophy, who are your assistants? What are you telling the media? And then you're saying you're also going to do a radio show? I don't see how this works.
There's no way it works. So I remember coaching in the minors. My brief stint coaching in the minors. I was coach and GM of that team. I thought it was wonderful. I'm the last decision, no matter what. I remember talking to Ken Hitchcock. Hitch, you got any advice for me? Because Hitch started out in the lower levels and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And you want to tap into whatever resources that are around you. I talked to Doug Armstrong, talked to Ken Hitchcock, and Hitch just said, well, here's what's going to happen. You're going to need to earmark at least 8 hours a day to be a coach.
Wow.
He goes, you got all these other responsibilities. You have to sign players, trade players, housing, hotels, travel. All that's going to be under your GM hat. And he goes, but you need at least 8 hours a day to be the head coach. And I was like, okay, I can do this. I found out quickly that it was not that I couldn't do it, but I was like, holy crap, he was right. Like, the demand was through the roof.
Yeah.
So now that's a little different, but being on a radio show now myself, knowing the time and effort and work that goes into it, and like the amount of stuff we have to cover and talk about, and then adding in being a full-time head coach of a D1 program, like, there's just no way. Mm-hmm. It's hard for me with mixing the TV and the radio. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not that it's hard, but the time becomes a problem.
Sure.
And so there's no way you could be a head coach and have a full-time radio show. There's no way. If he did the morning show, like a 7 to 9 a.m., and he just decided he didn't like to sleep at all in life,
yeah,
he'd probably do it for a year or two.
Right. Yeah, we're not talking about a 1 hour, like Fisher, right. Jeff Fisher at the Jeff Fisher show at 1 hour a week. We're not. That's different.
Yeah,
talking about every day.
It's not like he's running a camp or anything. He's a head coach. Like,
right.
You run the Clear It camp, and you have time to do this too. So,
I will. Yeah, certainly.
Probably, yeah. Probably plenty of time here to work at things.
I don't understand where your sarcasm's coming from. I don't like that, but I'm going to give you an opportunity, Jamie, to really think about how your words will impact people moving forward. Jared Goff got an extension from the Lions, and it's interesting to look at how his career has developed. And I think there's one thing that we kind of miss with his level of quarterback, right? Because there's different levels in the NFL, and it's interesting to look at his level and where he's gotten to now with the Lions. Is there any lesson to be learned here? That's next on 101 ESPN. Yesterday, the Lions signed Jared Goff to a 4-year, $212 million contract extension. He was heading into the final year of a 4-year extension that he originally signed with the Rams back in 2019. Then, of course, he was traded to the Lions in 2021, and the team was, honestly, the Lions, everybody kind of thought, well, they're going to take on the bad contract. They're going to get, some draft picks and stuff like that from the Rams, and we'll see how this plays out. Well, Dan Campbell eventually is hired, and after a rocky first year, the Lions started to turn things around in the second half that year. I think they started off like 0-7 or 0-8 or something like that. But Dan Campbell threw his support behind Jared Goff and paired him with Ben Johnson and Ben Johnson's offense and his play calling. And since that point, he's thrown for over 12,000 yards, 78 touchdowns, 27 interceptions his last 3 years with the team, leading them to 2 winning seasons, 12-5 record last year, and an NFC Championship appearance, a game in which, honestly, they should have won against the 49ers in San Francisco. Taking nothing away from the Niners. Goff had him on the doorstep of going to the Super Bowl.
It still hurts, Anthony, if that's what you're trying to do.
I'm sorry. Nope, I'm not trying to do that. No offense to Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins has 1 playoff win. Jared Goff has proven in 2 different locations now that while he's not a quarterback that can elevate those around him, there's few in the NFL that can. But Jared Goff has proven that with enough around him in the right system, he can be somebody that wins you multiple playoff games. I don't mind this deal at all. In fact, I think it's great for a guy that, quite frankly, has shown a lot of resiliency and a lot of grit over his career.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Jared Goff was written off when he was with the Rams. Like almost before it even started. The first year where the Rams get to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff, nobody praised the quarterback. Anybody who was anybody praised Sean McVay and being able to extract the most out of Jared Goff. And Jared Goff wasn't good enough to win the game. And Sean McVay, it was all he could do to get them there. Okay, that narrative was fine at the time because you're like, Then they moved on to Stafford, and then they won the Super Bowl. So you're like, okay, maybe it was the quarterback.
Yeah.
Maybe. But then you see Jared Goff go to Detroit the first year. That wasn't pretty for anybody there. But since then, with the confidence that Dan Campbell has put into Jared Goff and watching the OC do his work with Jared Goff and building a team around him, like steady quarterbacking is winning quarterbacking. Like I know what I'm getting with Jared Goff now. Do I expect him to pull a huge play out of his ear like a Patrick Mahomes could do? Lamar Jackson. Like, do I expect him to run around the field for 15, 20 yards sideways or 30 yards running backwards inside? No, I don't. I don't expect him to be able to do that. But I do expect him to be able to drive an offense down the field and put up points. Putting up points wasn't the problem when they lost the 49ers.
Yep.
It was keeping the Niners off the board, which obviously they had a good offense too.
Sure.
So,
and not taking, let's be honest, not taking some field goals when they had opportunities to even add more points and all that.
Don't come at my guy. Just don't. Yeah, you want to come at me? Fine.
But not Dan Campbell?
Not Dan Campbell.
All right, fair.
Okay?
Yeah.
He might walk through those doors one day. Anthony, I don't like your chances.
I don't either.
Or mine, or Andrew's. For that matter.
That's
although,
fair.
hopefully I have my Lions sweatshirt on that day.
Yeah, I think you could smooth things over.
Maybe. But no, I think Jared Goff, I think it's a solid signing. For me, there's something to be said about a steady quarterback that you can rely upon. Look at how many teams in the NFL are looking for a steady quarterback.
Yeah.
Look how many teams are overpaying, whether it's draft capital or money, to get a quarterback.
Or both.
Or both. That's right. Like, look at the Falcons, Anthony. They're a great example of you can never have too much of a good thing.
Yeah, especially when you're coming off a year of Desmond Ridder, and no offense to original Battlehawk Taylor Heineke, but yeah, that was rough. No, you're right. But even beyond this too, I think there's kind of a lesson for teams that say, okay, what is this guy? What is this guy? Because Jared Goff at one point, I remember his rookie year. First of all, let's go back to his college years. Cal, that team was brutal. They built nothing around him. Still winds up being the first overall pick. Goes to the Rams, the Jeff Fisher Rams, not the Sean McVay Rams, but the Jeff Fisher Rams. And he was dreadful.
Can't imagine why.
Dreadful under Jeff Fisher. and whatever offensive coordinator he had at the time. Sean McVay comes in, recognizes what Jared Goff is, has an unbelievable season, gets him to the Super Bowl. They fall short. Bill Belichick really put together, if you watch the Dynasty, which I know you have, the Dynasty 10-part series, they broke down. That was Bill Belichick's last outstanding, Picasso-esque defensive game plan
against the Rams.
That they have for McVay and Jared Goff. But then McVay openly says, we need to upgrade the quarterback position.
That was fun.
I can't work with this guy. Not only that, but he proves it after they get Matthew Stafford. So Goff goes to Detroit.
He had to hate his life at first.
Who hadn't won anything in Detroit, gets into that system with McVay. They win the Super Bowl in year one. Done deal. Trade good Rams.
How do you feel if you're Jared Goff?
And then Goff does what he did with the Rams.
Yeah.
He bounces back. So he's somebody, too. The Lions are it's easy to root for the Lions. They've been downtrodden for so long. Really good franchise in terms of the fan base.
Yeah.
The franchise this is not a Jets situation. The franchise has tried. They just missed the mark. And now they get a guy.
But not now.
Who nobody believed in, even though he went to the Super Bowl. And now they get a guy that Dan Campbell throws all his support behind, and the results have been outstanding over the last 2 years.
So, Anthony, when you look at Jared Goff compared to other quarterbacks that fall in a similar category, maybe a Kirk Cousins, or pick your horse that fall into that group of quarterbacks.
Dak Prescott,
yeah. Our buddy Dunk used to say that there was a separator. There's always a way to find out how a guy gets ranked higher. Do you remember what he used to say?
Yeah, the press conference and the girlfriend or the wife.
Yeah. Have you seen Jared Goff's girlfriend?
No.
My God. No wonder he got $80 million.
So the rankings are good there.
I'm not kidding.
He'd be high on Dunk's rankings.
Dunk would be pleased.
All right, good.
Dunk would have him starting in the Pro Bowl.
There you go. What did Dunk see?
Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently, I don't know this to be true. Apparently.
Right, yeah.
She's like
it's what you've heard.
It's like an SI swimsuit model or something.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
Yeah. The other thing.
Surely sells those clothes.
There you go. The other thing here too is this is another reminder too that while we focus in on the top tier, the top level quarterback, there is that next level where none of these guys are elevating the talent around them. But if you build a really good team around them, they can win you some playoff games. I don't know if Jared Goff's ever going to win a Super Bowl. I don't know.
Should have went to a Super Bowl last year.
Should have went to a Super Bowl last year. Would have been a second. So
would have been interesting to see that. I still think the Chiefs probably win, but still would have been fun.
I agree. All right, it's the Fastlane on 101 ESPN. What's the shortest distance between where the Blues are now and the playoffs? So them becoming a playoff team. It actually might be a shorter distance than you think. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Oh, Sean McVay has the best playbook. Oh.
It is that time of year where people are looking to sell their homes, or they're getting ready to, or you might see a lot of signs up in your neighborhood. Well, if you are a homeowner right now and you're looking to sell your home and you just have so many questions, or you're unsure about the market, don't worry about all that stuff. Just call Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria has so much experience, especially selling homes. She's got a database, too, with thousands of ready buyers, and these buyers are going to create a higher demand, more traffic to your listing, maybe multiple offers, and all that leads to more money for you. Gloria Liu has also mastered the home selling process when it comes to options. Maybe it's a cash offer that you want. Maybe it's guaranteed sale where you have no showings, or maybe it's the guaranteed sale period where Gloria Lou sits down with the homeowner and figures out the sales price and then sells that home for the exact same price as you talked about, or she buys it herself and she guarantees all that in handwriting. All you have to do right now, if you're looking to sell your home and you just even have questions, call Gloria Lou. Tell her Jamie Rivers sent you in. That number is 314-325-6888. Again, that's 314-325-6888. Or you can visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Remember the conditions to apply. Gloria and the seller must agree upon the sales price and possession date.
Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Andrew Marsh and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. No Carey Davis again today. What is the shortest distance between where the Blues are now and the playoffs? And what's interesting about this, Jamie, is that you may think that it's a long distance. When you watch the playoffs right now, what is the one thing that you know beyond a shadow of doubt that the Blues have that other teams also have? The teams that are actual contenders right now in the playoffs.
Well, the ones that are actual contenders, if you watch the games, they've got goaltending. Mm-hmm. They've got goaltending. With the Bruins, they've got Ullmark and Swayman. Swayman has carried the load for most of the playoffs. It'll be interesting to see what Monty does tonight. Does he go to Ullmark to try and change it? Does he stick with Swayman? Florida's got Bobrovsky, who's been fantastic. You look at teams like Dallas. Ottinger has been great. Freddie Anderson's been good. Shesterkin has stood on his head for the Rangers. But when you look at the teams that are struggling, take a look at the Edmonton Oilers. Stuart Skinner is their number one goaltender, and he's not good.
Yeah.
He's not playoff good. He had a good regular season, but he's statistically one of the worst goalies ever in the playoffs.
And now he got benched.
And now they're going with Cal Pickard, who's their backup, their third goalie, really.
I'm not saying is this a desperation move?
It's something.
Well,
the numbers don't lie. The numbers for Stuart Skinner are terrible, and he has not played well. Now, you have to remember that Jack Campbell signed a huge ticket. He was a $6 million goalie for the Oilers. He was in the minors all year because you couldn't hit him. And so Ken Holland had a goalie making top dollar that couldn't make a save. Then he had to pass the ball on to Stuart Skinner, who had a good regular season, but now he's having trouble getting hit by the puck. So now you're on to Cal Pickard, who's your third-string goalie. Now, that works if you're the Vegas Golden Knights last year because you have such a good team defensively. 1 through 7 on your defensive core are all top-notch defensive NHL guys. That's not the case in Edmonton. You've got like 2 guys on the blue line for the Oilers. The rest are a bit of a disaster. So if we're going drag it back to the Blues, you've got Jordan Binnington and Joel Hofer. So I would easily compare them to Swayman and Ullmark with Boston.
Yeah.
You get 1A, 1B. Depending on the day of the week, you might have a drop-off or somebody who plays a little bit better than the other guy. But you're set up for success from in between the pipes. Now, where I think the Blues need to narrow the gap is with their D-core. You look at some of the teams right now that are left in the playoffs, it's airtight, man. Like, except for the Oilers. The Oilers are a disaster. Defensive. They are. But they've got McDavid and Draisaitl, and they just, basically, it's a track meet.
It's never been an issue for them before, that defensive
Their power
play.
play's operating at 67%.
Insane.
Still losing.
And they're still losing. Yeah. So think about that for a second.
How do you win? How do you lose?
And right now, the Oilers are not winning because they don't have good defensive core or goaltending.
Yeah.
So when you look at the Blues, and you look at it and you isolate the two goaltenders as being ready to go, Jordan Binnington's not just battle-tested, he's a Stanley Cup champion. And arguably, possibly could have been the Conn Smythe winner. Ryan O'Reilly, Jordan Binnington, it's kind of was a coin toss. Mm-hmm. But where I think the Blues need to upgrade, I think Doug Armstrong would agree, is increasing the talent on their blue line. Not just the talent, the size. You look at the guys who are making impact this year in the NHL playoffs that are defensemen. They're big, tough guys. Mm-hmm. Like Nikita Zadorov, I go back to him again. This guy's just been an animal. And he's contributed with goals, assists, like he's been there. Aaron Ekblad in Florida is a big body. He's playing very well. Charlie McAvoy, Brandon Carlo with the Boston Bruins. Like, you got some dudes that can play defense. And I think that that's what the Blues are missing right now is one more top four defenseman. Now, does that mean a top four defenseman where you have to move somebody out? I don't necessarily think it means that. If the team is willing to stomach having a $4 million plus defenseman in the bottom two, because you're not going to be able to firm up your blue line with, like, for me and Nikita Zadorov, if he comes to your team, he's playing top four. In fact, I play him with Colton Parayko. 6'6" and 6'6" on your blue line.
We could have pretty good.
Not bad, right?
Yeah.
And then they would drop down. So then Nick Leddy would maybe play alongside Justin Falk. And then maybe you got Torrey Krug with Matt Kessel. They played very well together last year when paired together. So, but that defensive core, along with your goaltending, makes you a playoff-capable team. Mm-hmm. And now you still have the maturation that continues for Robert Thomas, Jordan Kyrou, Jake Neighbors, Toropchenko, Bolduc, all these younger guys now that can play with a little more reckless abandon because the back end's going to be locked down a little bit more.
Sure.
So for me, that's the quickest way to get your team back in the playoffs. If I'm Doug Armstrong, this is just my opinion, is finding another top four defenseman that can lock it down. And then if you've got goaltending and the 6-7 defensemen that are solid, now you can tinker with your forwards a little bit.
What's more important, having an elite D-core or having an elite goaltender? Because I look at some of the teams that have recently won the Stanley Cup. You look at the Colorado Avalanche. Who was there in that mind? It was Darcy Kemper.
Yep.
Guy was not that good. He didn't even start this year for the Washington Capitals in their playoff run.
Vegas last night.
They have a guy that was their fourth string goaltender.
Yep.
So and obviously you have Tampa Bay, who has Vasilevsky, who is an elite goaltender, but they have some big trees on their back end as well.
They had an elite core.
Exactly. And the Blues at the time, Jordan Binnington, he was a hot goaltender. I wouldn't consider him at the time an elite goaltender.
Right.
So I wonder, do you need an elite defensive core with just a hot goaltender? Is that the best recipe?
Yeah, I mean, look, you're isolating Vegas last year, which I don't blame you, because they were on their fourth string goalie in the Stanley Cup final. But they had such an elite defense core.
Right.
So big, so able, so strong. And that team defensively, forwards and defense, were built to protect the middle of the ice. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you can work your way around it. Like Colorado was just so good
that
it didn't matter who you had in net. Almost the Oilers effect, we're just going to outscore the opposition. But Darcy Kemper was still an able body. Mm-hmm. So he was an average to above average goaltender. Vasilevsky was a stud, but Tampa also had him surrounded by stud defensemen. Well, they had Luke Schenn, you had Bogosian, you had Hedman, you had Sergachev. Like, the list goes on and on and on of guys that were in Tampa.
I think one team that stands out to me right now when I bring that up is the Vancouver Canucks. they have a guy like Tyler Myers who is, like 8 foot tall, but you also have smaller players like Quinn Hughes who can move the puck. And your goaltender right now is Arthur Shelovs, who no one's really ever heard of before the playoffs started, because you don't have your quote unquote elite goaltender in Thatcher Demko in net. So I wonder if that style of play can continue for them against a high-powered offense in the Edmonton Oilers. They've been shutting him down, and Shelovs has been playing well. He's been a quote-unquote hot goaltender.
Yeah, so when I look at the Vancouver Canucks, they're a great example. If Tyler Myers was a left-handed shot, he would be a guy that I would covet. Mm-hmm. He's a pain in the ass to play against. He's not like a really tough guy, but he's always in your space. And he's not afraid to be physical. Was he 6'7", 6'8", back there on the blue line? In a perfect world, you'd be able to get him and Zadorov next year. That would obviously catapult your team defensively. But I like that. And when you look at the Vancouver Canucks, they've got Tyler Myers, Quinn Hughes, Philip Hronek, Zadorov, Carson Soucy, who's a big, tough guy too. Ian Cole's a big, tough kid. Mm-hmm. Like, they've got... The recipe is the size and the willingness to engage physically. Mm-hmm. Now, in a regular season, sometimes you don't see that being as important because it's 82 games. It's tough to defend Stanley Cup style in game 51 of the season. Mm-hmm. But when you get to the playoffs and you need to shut a team down and just win 4 games to move on to the next round, it's amazing what big, strong bodies that can move. You can't have slow as molasses players out there. Mm-hmm. They've got to be big, strong guys that can move adequately around the ice. And when you get those guys, that's really where it can separate you from just being a fringe team to being a team that's in the playoffs to then being a team that can upset a team like the Oilers because the Oilers don't have it.
So that's interesting that you broke that down there from a regular season standpoint, right? So when you look at the standings for the NHL regular season, I mean, Florida can play that style, and they also were the top team. Yeah,
but if you look at Florida, Anthony,
in the Atlantic,
you watch them in the last 20-some games of the season. Mm-hmm. Even Paul Maurice alluded to they kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit. Spreaded the ice time out a little bit more, got some more guys in, a couple of days off for other guys like that were nursing some bumps and bruises. Paul Maurice coached that team to peak at playoff time.
It's tough to do.
It is tough, but you have to have the pieces to do it.
Right.
You have to have the depth in order to put it in neutral for, a handful of games at some point in the season. When you're a team that's battling,
too.
I'm sorry?
You got to be up, too, in the standings. You got to feel comfortable with where you're at.
100%, because Vegas tried to do that with their LTIR, and they almost found themselves out of the playoffs. We know we were right behind them by, 3 points at one point or 2 points, like right near the end of the season.
Yep.
And they were scurrying just to get into the playoffs, and we saw what happened then. They added all these pieces, and it didn't work for them. Mm-hmm. But just kind of looping it back around, when I look at guys out there, even like a Braden McNabb from the Vegas Golden Knights, which I think he'll be available this year via free agency. If we pull up his numbers here, Braden McNabb, he's got one more year at 2.8 with Vegas. But Vegas is looking to get rid of cap space. Like, they have got so much on the books for next year. Like, they've got to get out from some of these contracts. If you made a trade, you got enough now in the cupboard. You made a trade to acquire a Braden McNabb, who's 6'4", 230 out there, gets around the ice adequate, but boy, can he lock it down. And he's physical. He'll drop the mitts. Like, that to me changes the dynamic of what your team looks like defensively.
Yeah. Do the Blues or can the Blues, if they do get into the playoffs, can they move the puck quick enough to have success in the playoffs? Because I've seen these past few seasons, they just, for whatever reason, their puck movement isn't as crisp and isn't as quick as I think a lot of people would like it to be. And obviously in playoff hockey, the ice shrinks.
Yeah.
Do you think they could find success, even if they do have good goaltending, good defensive core? Do they have enough pieces and enough quickness to find success with a smaller ice?
Yeah, so I think they actually, the speed of the puck probably improves because you're lowering, in some respects, and this is going to sound crazy, you're lowering some of the physical abilities from a skills standpoint. Like, Braden McNabb doesn't have the same skills as Torrey Krug. Nikita Zadorov doesn't have the same skills as Scott Perunovich. But sometimes those skills make a player look for the bigger, better play all the time.
So you think it would actually help the Blues to just somewhat just dumb their game down?
Way more direct.
Yeah.
See puck, pass puck. Done. Move it up. Now it puts more onus on the forwards. Forwards got to get open. You got to work for that time in that space. But that's called puck support. You're supposed to be doing that anyways. And it might take away from that curl back, pass, curl back, pass, curl back, drop, pass, this, pass. Look, no. It's a Stanley Cup playoffs. You get a chance to move the puck from your end of the ice to the neutral zone. You do it. Boom, up the ice. You have another play, you make it. If not, it goes in deep. You get in on the forecheck. Your defense get up the ice, and they shrink the ice. So I think in some respects, by not dumbing it down, but just making it more simple, you actually speed up the game.
And I think that's why we talk about this team needing a playoff appearance, even if they would have gotten swept by the Dallas Stars. Like just getting in and seeing, okay, this does not work in the playoffs. Let's try and fix something heading into next season. I think that is probably why it's important to play these games rather than just tank and get a high draft pick and whatnot.
And the Blues aren't in that situation anyways.
Right.
They have too many contracts, too much term, too much money on the books. But just to put a bow on it, I think that there are some players out there that could improve your defensive core immediately. And because you have such good goaltending, it makes you a playoff contender like instantly.
That's Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. There's a rumor that came out about a certain player that a lot of people supported, wanted to see do well. But it was an example, this report is, of how teams and us as fans and in the media, we miss more on the character than the talent. That's next on 101 ESPN.
I've always said that they don't, the 40-yard dash, I'll watch the combine on NFL Network or whatever, and I'll laugh, and I'll be like, until they have a 40-yard dash that the number tells you someone's emotional intelligence and self-awareness, you really haven't evaluated the player. Like, we'll get some guys, and you're like, yeah, he's a great player, but, like, he is so unaware. Like, there's no awareness, and eventually that's just going to limit what he can do as a player. So, or vice versa. You say, yeah, the guy isn't the fastest, isn't the strongest, isn't the biggest, but he's emotionally intelligent, and he's very aware, and he knows how to work. He knows the strategic things he has to do to be better, and so I'll play with him any day, and he's going to be a great player in time. And so I don't think they've come up with tests at the combine to figure out this, separate the two, but that's a big deal to me, is people who can recognize reality and live in reality instead of, a world that doesn't exist.
So it's Kirk Cousins. He was on Bussin' with the Boys. He was talking about, he said, emotional intelligence. I gather that, and maybe you guys have a different read on it, but I gather that to mean football IQ.
Oh, yeah.
Or baseball IQ, or hockey IQ, or basketball IQ. It's emotional intelligence. The way he was describing it told me he was discussing, when you get on a field, do you know what to do? And that's not, I think that is the thing that is the most difficult to judge, most difficult thing to scout. To Kirk Cousins' point, they don't have something like that at the combine. I mean, they've got certain tests that they give guys, especially quarterbacks. But ultimately, this is why we in the media, we as fans, and then teams, they miss. They miss on the talent more than I think they miss on, they miss on the character more than they miss on the talent. I think character also includes football IQ, baseball IQ, hockey IQ. When you get on the ice, when a play calls for you to do something differently than what was, what was either written down or what the game plan was, can you make a play? Mm-hmm. And you just don't know that unless you actually watch the film, have an understanding of what the play called for in that moment. That, I think, is the biggest thing that we often miss.
Yeah, I agree. And we've said it for years in hockey, and it's the hockey IQ thing, is like you've got players that are drafted really high, right? And now they even have the NHL Combine, which I just shake my head at. It's like they just want to find a reason to get together. I don't know. Emulate the NFL? Not sure. Because until they take the NHL Combine and put those guys on the ice and have them play against each other, it doesn't matter how many bench press a guy can do, how many chin-ups. Never seen anybody score a goal from the chin-up bar. Yeah. Never seen anybody block a shot under the bench press. Like, just telling you, there's really no value in it. Now, you make sure a player's in shape and things like that, but all the players are in shape now. There's no more like drinking beer all summer and coming to training camp to get in shape. Mm-hmm. So let's just isolate a couple of players quickly. Look at Nail Yakupov. If you put Nail Yakupov in a combine, he destroys it. Destroys it. Can skate. He's big. He's strong. What a shot. Stick handle. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby. I want that guy. Then he touches the ice and go, who the hell? What is he doing? Another guy.
What happened to my guy here?
Another guy, and I'm not going to be mean, but this is the truth. Kasperi Kapanen. Test off the charts when it comes to the combine. But then you get him in the game, and he's a hard worker, skates it, but what is he doing?
He's got tunnel vision.
What is he accomplishing, right? But then you get a guy like Ryan O'Reilly. You look at him skate down the ice. If he had no jersey on, like no name, and you just saw him, you're like, what?
Caught him.
Who's that guy?
Yeah.
Yet he's one of the most intelligent hockey players in the NHL, and he's had tremendous success because of how good he is from a thought process. Mm-hmm. David Perron, not the fastest guy, super high hockey IQ, super competitive. You look at David Perron off the ice, like, whatever. Try to get the puck away from him. You can't. And it's not just skill, it's body position, it's tenacity. So you can't tell those things with a combine. Mm-hmm. Now you've got tape you can watch, but it's tape against amateurs. It's other college kids for the most part. Yep. It's other junior hockey players.
That's why it's hard to project.
It's really hard, which is why, go back to the original comment, you got to do some background check on these guys, some character references, and really dive into the video. Like my biggest thing that I want to suggest to NHL teams is when you go to the combine, never mind, just have somebody present to watch all the exercise. That's great. The kid's already rated in the first round. He's a good hockey player. Mm-hmm. Get him in your private meeting and have him You can get video of all these kids from their junior teams and have him break down 10 different plays and see what he notices, see what he recognizes, see what he did right, see what he did wrong, see if he actually admits the things he did wrong on those shifts, and you make sure you find some doozies where there's 3 or 4 mistakes in a shift. If the player accurately breaks down the shift for you, there's hope.
Yeah.
And that's the kid I'm looking at going, okay, he understands what's going on here.
And even to expand on the football IQ or just sports IQ in general, I think Kirk Cousins here in context of the conversation to go even farther is talking about, things outside of the game itself. How do you handle your finances? How do you handle, how you speak to people? How do you handle yourself while in the building outside of the game? Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of things that show what kind of person you are that goes just beyond the football field.
No, I totally agree. Mm-hmm. And then we get some texts that are talking about that too. They're like, it's not just football IQ. It's, IQ away from the field and all that. You're right. There's so many kids that break into the league where the first week of training camp, you're like, oh my God, this kid has got a lot to learn.
Right.
They're treating the trainers like crap. They're throwing the tape on the ground. They're not, like the respect level isn't there. And it's just because either they don't know or they don't care. If they don't know, that's fine. We can teach them. If they don't care, we got a problem. Don't draft that kid.
Right. So this ties into, I mentioned a report. Justin Fields, especially his rookie year, they really commented on his rookie year, but apparently it didn't get much better. There was a report about a toxic relationship that he used to have with the other quarterbacks in the Bears quarterback room, including a man that won a Super Bowl and Nick Foles. Andy Dalton was also in that room. But Nick Foles apparently at one point turned around in a quarterback meeting room to make, kind of a coaching, teaching moment for Justin Fields, turned to the rookie, and Fields wasn't paying attention. He was on his phone, head was down, had no interest in being there, had no interest in kind of learning. And that's the moment when Nick Foles, who apparently was trying to help the kid, he just said, all right, forget it. And the two never got along. Did it get better? Well, he didn't get better.
No.
The excuses got more rampant for Justin Fields. He doesn't have this. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have a receiver. Okay. Then they get DJ Moore. He's got everything. He's an MVP candidate. He didn't get better. Well, they don't have another receiver. They don't have a defense. They don't have this. They don't have that. I'm not saying like some of that isn't true. But I'm interested to see how Caleb Williams does in a similar environment after what Justin Fields didn't do over the last couple of years. And then Justin Fields gets traded for a 6th-round pick. The league will tell us what it thinks of a player. Mm-hmm. We think somebody's going to go in the 1st round, top 15, wherever he slips into the 2nd round. Why did that happen? These teams are stupid. Teams are telling you what they think of that player. A 6th-round pick. Mac Jones went for a 6th-round pick. That one made sense. Justin Fields, we were like, oh, they're going to fetch the Bears a 1st rounder.
No, it wasn't. Hey, don't be hating on 6th-round picks now.
Tom Brady, 199, baby.
The greatest pick ever in franchise history.
Absolutely, the Tom Brady pick.
But Anthony,
but it goes back to what the Texans are talking about having that IQ off the field too.
Yeah, and to expand on that, just a personal story from that standpoint is, I remember breaking into the league here in St. Louis, and you come in from college or junior hockey is what I came in, and you're the big dog in the yard.
Yeah.
You're the captain. You scored the most points. You had the biggest impact. You're the leader. All this stuff. And so some kids make the mistake of not listening or learning from some of the older players.
Yeah.
Some of the older players, they're not necessarily giving you the answers because, 1, they don't want you to take their job. Mm-hmm. 2, they don't really care. They've been through it. But I remember for me it was Craig McTavish, and he's assistant coach just a couple of years ago here with the Blues. He was out there. We were skating. It's my first year, and we were in the playoffs, and I wasn't in the lineup, and I felt like I should be. I think I was 19 at the time, and I was like, I was pissed off. I was angry. Like not like dragging a lip, but like angry, firing the puck high every time on the goalie. Like as a young guy, you don't do that. Like fluff the pillows every now and then, go up high, whatever. But I was going bar down. Like goalies were like, what the hell is this guy? What's his problem? Mm-hmm. And so then Craig McTavish, just quietly skated over, put his arm around me and told me how many games he had played in the NHL, how many Stanley Cups he had won. And he goes, I'm right here skating beside you. I'm in the same boat as you are. But I can tell you that I didn't get all of those other things by being ticked off every time.
Yeah.
You got to learn. You got to accept it with grace. You had a problem, you go quietly talk to the coach. You find out, like if there's a way to carry yourself, because the team right now needs everybody on the same page. They don't need a couple of guys that are ticked off from an individual standpoint when the team has something much bigger to accomplish.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? He's right. I consider myself to be like a consummate team player. I'll do anything for this team. Will you? Well, then pick your lip up and act like you love it here. And that's what the team needs right now.
Good call.
And I was like, okay. I learned from that. And then the rest of my career, I never never made that same mistake. In fact, I ended up being the guy towards the latter part of my career where teams were signing me to the team to be the 6'7" defenseman because I was never in a bad mood. I always showed up and did the right things and whatnot. There are life lessons you can learn from the veterans around you, and especially like this Justin Fields thing. To bring it like that, he probably thought Nick Foles was lesser than him because he's second or third quarterback in the food chain.
Yeah.
But if you really took time to listen to what he had to say, and the fact that Nick Foles cared enough to say anything, you've got to absorb that sometimes and then put it to practice.
No doubt.
Dude won a Super Bowl.
I
I don't care if he was the one-hit wonder.
Yeah.
You listen to that guy.
He's still, and he was in the league for a long time,
yeah.
too. There's teams that wanted him.
And the biggest thing, guys, is there's so many veterans that won't say anything because they're like, they've seen this guy 10 times before. They've seen him 10 times before. Just another one of these kids.
Yeah.
Whatever. He's hopeless. Whatever it is. But the veteran who takes the time to grab you and talk about something, like, listen.
Yeah.
Because he actually gives a bleep about you in that moment.
That's Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsham, Anthony Stalter. It's Fastline on 101 ESPN. Are You Sold is next. So if you have an Are You Sold statement, 314-399-9646. That's the Air Comfort Service text line. We'll play Are You Sold next.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cards pick up a victory last night over the Los Angeles Angels. 10-5 the final score. The Cardinals will look to grab their third win in a row tonight as Sonny Gray takes the mound going up against Reed Detmers. 8:38 first pitch. The Nuggets and Timberwolves play tonight, Game 5. Pregame for that one starts at 9 o'clock, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. Coming up next, we have Are You Sold? So if you have an Are You Sold statement you want to send our way, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Are You Sold? Coming up next. This Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Time to play Are You Sold in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsham,
Yes.
Anthony Stalter.
Sold.
Yeah.
Sold
You don't
on
even know
you,
what it is.
Anthony.
Oh, thanks,
You're
Jamie.
having a hell of a show today.
Thanks.
I'm sold on you.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, but I just take it one segment at a time. Yeah.
Look at you. You're
Gotta finish strong
you're
here.
a born leader. All the cliches.
Yeah. Tape to tape passing, get in front of the net.
Whoa, that's not your game.
Oh,
Clear it, remember? Just stick to your game.
just clear it up. Marsh, what do you got for Are You Sold?
Well, Anthony, I know yesterday you were trying to break down City SC, and you were unable to because the lineup just interrupted
Yeah,
you. I felt
that was-
bad.
thanks.
So
That was unfortunate.
I'm sure the 636 felt bad too. They want to know: Are you sold that if City is able to sign Marco Royce, that they'll repeat as Western Conference champions?
Absolutely. He's part of the culture. That's somebody that you want in boots on your pitch. That is somebody that plays with maximum effort. Yeah, there's some issues maybe in his game that Jamie will bring up right now, but
Yeah.
I think this is somebody that could make a huge difference. Bradley Cornell knows what he's doing. The City SC has built a structure, unlike the Cardinals recently, of players that are going to fit the system that they want. And they're going to win. They're going to be productive. I believe in City SC. Jamie might not, but I do.
No, it's not that I don't believe in City SC, that's for sure. It's just that, he's an aging player. We talked about that. Now,
They have value.
well, yeah, if you'd let me finish. The players like that who come over here to play in the MLS are a lot like some of the players that have NHL careers here and go over to Europe or the KHL and have significant impact on those leagues just because it's a smidge lower than the NHL. So if he's playing in the Bundesliga over there or the English Premier League and some of those, the MLS it's more than one notch down below. So those guys can still have a big impact.
Absolutely.
City SC sitting right now in 9th in the Western Conference. Now, their biggest problem is they got 7 draws this year. But that's where this guy here, he might have changed that. He is a striker. This guy scored quite a few goals over there. So we'll see. I ultimately wonder who he replaces and how he's utilized within the roster.
He's going to Bundesliga all over this MLS league.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
Now, one thing is that Lutz knows him very well, as I believe they played for the same team. So, if anybody knows him, it's Lutz. And Roman Berkey seems to be pretty happy that he's coming here, or
Absolutely.
that he could potentially be coming.
He made a whole video for him showing, the facility, being like, hey, come here and play for us.
Yeah.
We're ready.
If he's good enough for Roman, certainly good enough for me.
Absolutely.
Go City.
Another team that we really didn't get to dive into yesterday because of the lineup game was the Battlehawks, and they played the Birmingham Stallions over the weekend. Unfortunately, they lost. But from the 314, Are You Sold? Birmingham goes undefeated again and wins the championship unless someone figures out how to defend against the slant.
Well, I mean, So the Sexers, right? The freaking slant killed the Battlehawks all game. And I was waiting for them to make some defensive adjustments to take away the middle of the field and force Martinez to throw outside the numbers. And it just didn't happen. And if you're going to be a team, if you're going to be a zone team, and they played a lot of zone on Sunday or Saturday, whatever it was. If you're going to be a zone team, you got to tackle. You got to have guys in front of you. You got to break in the ball quickly.
Important.
You got to tackle. And there were times where the Battlehawks did that well, and then there's other times where you saw the big plays occurring, especially in the second half. Unfortunately, the defense was just a step behind consistently this weekend in Birmingham. I thought they did very well. I don't know what the numbers are, but I thought they did very well on first down defensively. I thought they got Birmingham into some second and tens. They got behind they got behind schedule a little bit. They forced Birmingham to get behind schedule. But you can't complete an easy screen pass, or not screen pass, excuse me, a slant and have it go, 15, 16 yards. So
yeah, that seems non-practical.
Correct. Yeah, Battlehawks moved the ball well offensively. We knew they would. They get the best offense in the league. Defensively, though, again, I didn't see that same aggressiveness, that same tenacity that they showed. I think, this is my opinion, I think they were concerned about Martinez breaking out of the pocket consistently. They were concerned about his rushing ability. So they backed off. You play zone. You keep your eyes on the quarterback constantly, and it wound up biting them in the end. I wonder if they played him again, it'd be more aggressive.
From the 301, are you sold on Matt Carpenter batting leadoff to save the season?
Yes, I am.
Well, what was the last part of that?
Save the season.
Turn back the clock.
Honestly, if you get a Matt Carpenter, like a New York Yankees-esque Matt Carpenter, I think that will go a long way for this club.
The problem, though, is right field here at Busch Stadium's a little farther than at Yankee Stadium.
Let me tell you something,
It's a
Jamie.
fact.
Let me tell you something.
There you go, Anthony. Nice snag.
And Matt Carpenter is wearing the full beard. If he goes back to the mustache, there's a chance.
Are you ready?
Robert De Niro, your thoughts?
Let me tell you something that Jamie seems to forget. Let me bring up 2013 when Matt Carpenter
Only 2013, huh?
was incredible. Didn't have a lot of ding-dong Johnsons that year. He had a bunch of doubles, though. He was the straw that stirred the drink offensively. He was incredible. That's the Matt Carpenter we're looking for. He doesn't need to hit home runs. No, there's no jet stream out to right center like there is at Yankee Stadium here at Busch Stadium.
Not yet.
You got us.
Not yet.
But this man will hit a bunch of doubles, and he'll do it from the leadoff spot. And he will make an impact, and he will save the season.
Serious question.
Carp.
No.
Carp.
There's more. What about Marp?
Marp.
Another question regarding leadoff spot is if you're going to, at some point, just give it to Matt Carpenter, who has hit there before, but it's been a while. 2013. That's a long time ago, Anthony. Mm-hmm. Why would you not at least try Mason Wynn once or twice there? And that's a serious question. All jokes aside, if you're going to rotate that around, you've had Donnie. I think Newt has been there. Now you've had Marp. You have Victor Scott. Give it a try. Why not Mason Wynn?
Yeah, Mason Wynn can have an opportunity if Marp fails in that spot.
Okay, whatever.
I don't mind having Mason Wynn at the bottom of the lineup.
Oh, yeah, the double leadoff, eh?
The double leadoff or whatever. And
the double leadoff crap.
Crap, that's right. Pardon me. But no, I
get it right.
I think if you have some guys at the bottom of your lineup, they can provide a spark that maybe you necessarily don't have if you move him up there. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you have the double leadoff crap. So I think that's very important for this team, especially if Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt start, playing a little bit better. We saw last night Nolan Arenado hit a home run. Granted, it was a solo shot, but if you start getting guys
still
on,
counts.
Still counts.
That thing barely got out.
Oh, come on.
No, that's impressive.
I don't understand. I really don't understand what's going on right now.
I don't know. You know what, guys?
Are the Cardinals not 2-0 with Matt Carpenter?
They are.
Leading off.
He's saving the season. We're watching it happen right now.
He's saving the city.
I haven't done a lot of math in my adulthood.
I can hardly tell.
But I still think that's 1,000. He's batting The Cardinals are 1,000% winners.
He's not batting 1,000, Anthony. I wish he was.
The Cardinals, their winning percentage is 1,000 with Matt Carpenter leading off.
Do you know what a carpenter is?
This season.
A carpenter is a person who makes and repairs wooden objects and structures. Now, this
they work
team,
with a lot of wood, Marshy,
they are
predominantly.
And he's here to
That's why he uses that bat with no gloves.
He's here to fix the offense. He's here to fix the offense. He is repairing the bats as we speak, and he is saving the season.
Except
that is what
his
a
own
carpenter
bat
does.
It broke halfway through a swing.
He got a new one.
Did you see that?
I did see that.
His ball didn't even hit the bat. The bat broke.
He had a new one.
Somebody had it in for him. Somebody who wanted to bat leadoff cut his bat in half.
You know what? He persevered.
Part of the problem right now with the Cardinals. But Matt Carpenter's not going to stand for that crap. All he's going to do, he's going to lead off, he's going to hit doubles, he's going to make salsa. That's what he does. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We have a chance right now to win a pair of tickets for the first Beer Friday Cardinals game against the Red Sox this Friday at Busch Stadium. First Beer Friday tickets start at just $15 and will include your first cold beer on the house. Text in now to 314-399-9646 to score a pair of tickets to the Cardinals game this Friday night against the Bo Sox. Here's your trivia question for today. One of us turned the game off last night after Paul Goldschmidt hit into the double play. And one of us still received a text from the Cardinals saying, "You up?" And one of us responded. Who was it? Which member of the Fast Lane responded to a "You up" text last night, despite turning off the game, when old Paulie G grounded into that double play? If you have the correct answer to this trivia question, again, that Air Comfort Service text line is 314-399-9646, and you can get all the detail, all the ticket info for this Friday night's first Beer Friday game now at Cardinals.com/Friday.
Is there a correct answer to this, Anthony?
Oh, yeah, there is.
All right, just checking.
100% there is.
We know.
Yep. Speaking of the Cardinal rallies, were the Cardinals ill-prepared for the Goldschmidt and Arenado era? Kind of an interesting question there. That's next on 101 ESPN.
The decision to ride the Goldschmidt and Arenado train, your window was to win right when you acquired them, and you failed in those windows. That's where you blame Mo. You didn't update the roster to the point that they were ready to win World Series with those guys in their prime, and then you waited too long.
I think that's a really good point that you just made there, because if the Cardinals are going to build the way that they did, and you're building around these two guys, and you know the timeline is now. They did not even, like, forget all in. They didn't even, like, dip their toe in the water of, like, really pushing.
Yeah.
And they knew where they were short.
So that was BK Ferrario talking about what I think a lot of Cardinals fans have that's a similar notion, similar sentiment, where the Cardinals acquired Goldschmidt and they acquired Nolan Arenado and then did absolutely nothing. Here's my pushback on that. But
nothing. It was great.
Just
Anthony.
the way that the timing and how you said that and the pause. It was funny.
Well, good. I'm glad I made you guys laugh.
You should enjoy it.
Wasn't trying to.
Well, then, yeah, sorry about that.
Here's what I'll push back on this notion. Why? And maybe I have it wrong here. Maybe I'm focusing too much on those two guys. But why do we let them off the hook in all this? Those two guys, if they rip, I realize that Goldschmidt won an MVP. I realize that Arenado had finished third in the MVP voting that same year. Why do those guys though are let off the hook when it comes to the playoff performances?
That's a great point.
Like, those are your studs, right?
I don't disagree. I've been saying it for how many years now?
Right.
Snarky as it may be when I've said
It's still true.
Yes.
I remember going into the postseason that year and saying, man, you've got Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado in your lineup now. I know the Phillies are, they've got chock full of talent on it, but you've got those two guys. I remember saying it. And what happened? Juan Yepez only got to do anything.
Yeah. I know.
Juan Yepez, who's not even on the team, wasn't on the roster last year. So I get this idea of they acquired those two guys and then they did nothing. Well, they added Wilson Contreras last year. I know it's not a star-studded team, but this is not the Phillies. They weren't going to keep adding. They weren't going to add Trey Turner. They weren't going to add Juan Soto.
No.
They were never going to get to that point where they were going to be completely uncomfortable with their payroll. That has never been the Cardinals. What they did do was and you can fault them for this, put too much stock maybe into Jordan Walker's development or Dylan Carlson's development or whoever.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. But I don't think that Goldschmidt and Arenado should immediately be left off the hook when it comes to this era.
No, not at all. Listen, the one thing that we poke fun at or that Cardinal Nation is so frustrated with is the just barely making the wild card and then getting eliminated. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we made the playoffs, but how many games did we win? How much of an impact do we have on the playoffs? Well, if you go back in the last 2-3 years, not last year, obviously, but let's go back a little bit further. Each time you've made the postseason with Goldie and Arenado, they haven't done anything. Mm-hmm. They haven't brought you to a series win. You put Juan Yepez, the only guy that did damage. So, yeah, it falls on their shoulders. Your best players have to elevate their game in the biggest moments. That's just the way it is. Whether it's the NFL, whether it's the NHL, the NBA, or Major League Baseball, your best players elevate. We talk about Big Papi, how he was able to elevate come playoff time. His heart rate lowered in those moments.
Right.
Pick your horse in any sport. Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant for the basketball, LeBron James, give him that. Honestly, whatever. He's a great player, and he's performed at the biggest moments. NHL, pick who you want. Mm-hmm. When your best guys can't carry the ball, it's tough. You can't win. You can't. And the Cardinals, specifically the Cardinals, they can't win because they don't have the depth.
Right.
to carry it. Like, who are you going to rely upon?
That is on the front office.
That is 100% on the front office.
That's not on Arenado. That's not on Goldschmidt.
But like Dylan Carlson and Jordan Walker, they're kind of irrelevant to this conversation because Dylan Carlson was so young the last time the Cardinals made the playoffs, and Jordan Walker, it's just his, last year was his first year. Yeah. So those guys, you put as much stock as you want into developing those players, they shouldn't have been expected to contribute in a massive way anyways. They should be great accent pieces. Those are guys, like, if you get something from them, you're like, yes, that's a great moment for that young player.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think that they can be ignored when it comes to the lack of success for the Cardinals. No matter how good their regular seasons have been, they've never won a playoff round.
This is like saying a year ago, Adolis Garcia and Corey Seager and Marcus Semien, they don't do anything. And then saying, well, the Rangers didn't do enough to give them. Didn't put enough around them. No, they're the dudes.
They're supposed to be the dudes.
So they go out, they get these two guys. They get Marcus Semien, they get Corey Seager. Adolis Garcia had been there for a little while. Those two guys. And the Rangers, they get in the playoffs, they get bounced in the first round. They didn't do enough. The Rangers didn't do enough. They didn't give those guys enough. No, this is part of it. Now the Rangers front office, this is where the front office comes in. The Rangers front office did supply those two guys with solid, we'll call them secondary pieces, okay? But it's not like they went out and did what the Phillies did, where they brought in, we added Corey Seager and then Marcus Semien, and then we added Juan Soto, and they didn't keep going. So this is where, like, the drafting and the developing and scouring the trade market to find pieces, that's where the front office for the Cardinals falls short.
We got an interesting text from Dad Bod. I don't think you can knock them in their playoff play as a Cardinal. How much playoff experience did they have in their prior teams? I don't think that matters. You're either a dude or you're not.
You know what I'm going to say? Exactly. If they couldn't get their team into the playoffs before, like, Nolan Arenado can complain all he wants because, the team wasn't good, but they did take a run at it a couple of times while he was a Rocky, and nothing happened. So I'm sorry. The best players can carry a team into the postseason, a team that's close enough. I'm not talking about a bottom feeder team. So they shouldn't be absolved because they came then to a team. Then, quite honestly, the counter argument to that is whatever they did before, how bad those teams were, now they're on a team that wasn't bad. So how much damage should they be able to do, let alone in the same lineup, let alone in the same batting order, batting one behind the other?
Right.
It should have been like a recipe for success. But unfortunately, as of now, both of those guys have cooled down when it comes to the playoffs. And their playoff careers as Cardinals have been very short so far.
Yeah. All right, we have a returning Gauntlet contestant. After knocking off Jamie, we'll see if he chooses either me or Marsh next.
I thought it was a sideswipe for no reason, but okay.
I was just stating facts.
Yeah, I know.
But listen, I'm not. Sorry, Jamie.
All right.
I am.
Go Sam.
Oh, okay. I get it. Gauntlet next on 101 ESPN.
If you are currently thinking of renovating your home and maybe you're looking at new windows, replacement windows, please call my friends over at Window World. They are the preferred window of the St. Louis Blues. And one thing I'll tell you about Window World is that they absolutely thrive on customer service. They want to make sure that they provide an unbelievable product and that your customer experience is great. At going to the Window World headquarters and talking to all the representatives, the first thing they want to make sure the customer's happy. How do you do that? Well, one, you get in there, you measure everything properly so that their windows are custom to their home and they fit properly and there's no leakage, there's nothing wrong, the efficiency is there. Secondly, they provide everybody with a double strength glass that you just don't see it in replacement windows. What that means is they don't break easy, and the cold air and the hot air, whatever time of year it is, doesn't leak out. That's more efficient, saves you money, and they back all of that up with a lifetime warranty that covers all the parts, the glass breakage, and the labor. And now offering 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. And all you have to do is give them a call and tell them that Jamie Rivers from 101 ESPN sent you in. Call them at 314-993-1800. That's 314-993-1800, or visit them at windowworldstlouis.com.
Four warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the Gauntlet?
The Gauntlet is powered by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit mastor.com.
Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Andrew Marsh and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. We got Sam back for round 2. What's up, Sam?
Not much. What's up, guys?
Not much. Nice work yesterday. Congratulations on the victory over Jamie in round 1.
Yeah, Sam, did you enjoy it? Please tell me you popped champagne and, really, really took in the moment.
Oh, yeah. I haven't stopped, actually.
Okay, now I'm proud of you.
Would you like to take on Marsh or me for round 2?
Let's go with you, Anthony.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Anthony.
A little nervous.
I knew it. I could tell that Sam was going to come for you.
All right, Sam. Good luck.
All right, you too.
Thanks.
All right, Sam. Anthony's going to make his way into the cone of silence. While he's doing that, we're going to have to tell Marshy to spin that wheel, Sam.
Spin that wheel.
All right, so you got random yesterday. What are you hoping to get today?
I don't know. I guess not football with Anthony, but we'll see. Baseball would be cool. I don't know.
So what, are you an avid listener to the show?
Yeah, I like listening to you guys.
Okay, well, 1, we appreciate that. 2, what subject or what topic does Anthony usually get?
Oh, hockey.
Congratulations, Sam. It's hockey. And I'm not kidding you.
I'm glad it's today, not yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. That's how we do this, right? That's how you end up winning, is sometimes there's a little bit of luck involved. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, so here's how it's going to work. Same as yesterday, 4 questions, each of them worth 2 points. If you use the options and answer correctly, it's only worth 1 point. Of course, a wrong answer is 0 points. If we're tied, after 4 questions, there will be a tiebreaker. And Sam, we will get a winner here in the Gauntlet today. You good on this?
All right. Oh, yeah.
All right, here we go, bud. Again, subject is hockey. Question number 1. The year the Blues won the Stanley Cup, which team won the Central Division?
Oh. Go with the Stars. Final answer.
Question number 2. The year the Blues won the Stanley Cup, who won the President's Trophy?
Give me the options.
Options are the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Calgary Flames, or the Boston Bruins.
Man, Tampa or Boston? Let's go with Tampa. Final answer.
All right, question 3. Staying in theme here. The year the Blues won the Cup, they beat the Sharks in 6 in the conference finals. Which team did the Bruins sweep in the Eastern Conference Final?
Let's go with Tampa Bay. Final answer.
Question number 4. The year the Blues won the Stanley Cup, all 4 division winners were beaten by the wild cards in the first round. Name the wild card team that beat the Calgary Flames in the first round that year.
Give me the options.
Options are the LA Kings, the Colorado Avalanche, or the San Jose Sharks.
Go with the Sharks. Sharks. Final answer.
All right, Sam, we're going to bring Anthony back in here. While he's doing that, how you feeling, buddy?
We'll see.
All right, well, Anthony's strutting back in here with a power walk. He better watch his hip. Tell you that much.
My fingers hurt.
How was the Cone of Silence? Looks busy in there today.
Yeah, Tommy, our big boss, was in there, and Mike Ryder in there, of course. So, yeah, we're having good conversation.
The fact that Tommy's down here, are any of us getting fired?
Not today.
Not today?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No.
Okay. So he's in play.
Yeah.
All right, Anthony, our guy Sam here, not a bad day. You better pack a lunch. Topic is hockey. I'm not joking. I am not joking.
All right.
Question 1. The year the Blues won the Stanley Cup,
2019.
which team won the Central Division?
Ooh. Well, Winnipeg hosted them, and so did Dallas. I think it was Dallas. Dallas, final answer.
Question number 2. The year the Blues won the Stanley Cup,
2019.
Who won the President's Trophy that year? 2019.
Okay. Could have been Boston. Trying to think of like the rankings and things like that.
It would be first.
Right. In the NHL.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
2019.
Yeah.
In 20.
The year the Blues won the Stanley Cup.
Give me Boston. Final answer.
All right, question 3. The year the Blues won the Stanley Cup,
2019.
they beat the Sharks in 6 in the conference finals. Sorry about that, by the way.
No need to.
Which team did the Bruins sweep in the Eastern Conference Final?
Oh, crap. I want to say it was Carolina, but I'll take the options.
Was it the Pittsburgh Penguins, the New York Islanders, or the Carolina Hurricanes?
Go with the Hurricanes. Final answer.
Question number 4. The year the Blues won the Stanley Cup.
That was 2019.
Thank you. All 4 division winners were beaten by the wild cards in the first round.
Oh, crap.
Name the wild card team that beat the Calgary Flames in the first round that year.
Dallas? Oh, man. Blues played Winnipeg in the first round, so Dallas or San Jose. I don't think San Jose was a wild card team. Give me Dallas. Final answer. Those two answers conflicted.
I was just going to say the wild card team that won the Central Division.
Oh, shoot.
It's too late now.
What are you going to do?
Did he say final answer?
I think so.
Probably.
Text line. Did Anthony say final answer? I can't remember.
Listen,
I kind of did it for him.
The bottom line is
he was going Dallas.
I was screwed from the jump here, so...
Well, yeah, I mean, Marshy spitting that out can't.
I'm going to take the L here.
Oh, you never know. One of them could be right. You never know. All right, let's go over this.
Forgot I answered it that way.
Where to begin? Let's start right there. No, let's go. Okay, yes, he did. Text line's confirming it. So we'll start right there. The year the Blues won the Stanley Cup, all 4 division winners were beaten by the Wild Cards in the first round. Name the wild card team that beat the Flames in the first round that year. Sam, you used the options, said the San Jose Sharks. Anthony, without the options, you said the Dallas Stars. Marshy, the answer is?
It is the Colorado Avalanche, who then went on to lose to your San Jose Sharks.
0-0 after 1. Let's go with question number 2. The year the Blues won the Stanley Cup, who won the President's Trophy? Sam, you took the option, said the Tampa Bay Lightning. Anthony, without the options, you said the Boston Bruins. Marshy, answer is?
It is the team that was upset by the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Nice job.
1-0, Sam.
That's right.
Let's go to question 1. The year the Blues won the Stanley Cup, which team won the Central Division? Sam, without the options, you said the Dallas Stars. Anthony, without the options, you said that wild card team, the Dallas Stars, won the division.
Well, I didn't know they were a wild card team until Marsh said the one thing. Anyways.
Yeah. Answer is?
It is the Nashville Predators.
The Nashville Predators won the Central Division that year.
And then hung another banner.
They did for winning the division. You're right. They celebrated the hell out of that, didn't they? All right. Final question, which happens to be question number 3. The year the Blues won the Stanley Cup, they beat the Sharks in 6 in the conference finals. Which team did the Bruins sweep in the Eastern Conference Finals? Sam, you said Tampa. Anthony, you said Carolina. With the options. Got to mark. I forgot to mark that. Yeah. So, Anthony, if you're right, we go to a walk-off. If Sam's right, he wins. If it's any other team, he wins.
Well, we know it's not Tampa.
But are we sure about your answer?
But was it Carolina?
Oh, Carolina. Answer is Marshy.
Oh, Carolina.
Walk it off.
We got to walk off.
Wow. Sam, that was terrible.
1-1.
Thank you.
No, I mean...
No, back at you.
Yeah,
hey guys.
It's a defensive struggle.
Yeah, guys, we're in the playoffs. It's all about defense.
Struggle, yeah.
It's all
There's
defensive struggle. That was well played, Marshy.
There's no defense for our effort today.
All right, well, here's how it's going to work. Sam, we're going to ask a tiebreaker question. And what I need you to do is not say anything right away. Anthony's going to write down his answer as fast as he can. Once we get Anthony's answer in, we will then come to you for your answer. And you got to be ready right away. That way the text line doesn't think you're cheating. Okay, Sam?
Yeah, sounds good. Let's go.
All right. Here we go, boys. Good luck to both of you. How many goals did the Blues score in the Stanley Cup Final in 2019? Anthony's whittling away here. Ooh, the smoke out of his ears.
That would be the year the Blues won the Stanley Cup, by the way.
Anthony has an answer for us.
In the Stanley Cup Final, you're saying? Just that series?
Just that series, Sam. How many did they
23.
score? 23. Okay. Anthony, what was your number?
18.
18. So now it's closest to the pin. Sam.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose. The answer is 18.
Oh, wow.
Anthony Stalter nailed it today.
That was luck. That was all luck.
Anthony, show your paper to the YouTube channel so that everybody can see it's proven.
18.
Sam, good battle, buddy. It was a defensive battle between you guys, but it's good to have you back.
I feel bad. If it makes you feel any better, I do not love anything about my performance today.
Why
and I apologize.
why are you fisting?
I apologize. That was terrible.
I had some extra people listening. They're going to give me a hard time, too.
Sorry, buddy.
At least you got the dub.
Yeah, it is
right on,
gross.
boys.
All right, Sam. Thanks a lot for listening again, buddy. Thanks for playing.
Yep. Right on.
Good job, Anthony. All
There we
right.
go. Yeah, it's not about how many points you get. It's how you win.
It's about how you finish.
Yeah.
It's right. You're right. It's all about the finish sometimes, too.
18, right on the dot
Yep.
there. Yeah.
Great finish
All
by you.
Finnish, but no Swedish.
That's
kind of the reverse,
Yeah,
actually.
no, definitely. Yep.
You kind of channeled your Cardinals there, where it was just such an ugly win, but nonetheless a win.
It was a dub, yeah. Yep. Horrible game overall. I faced three relievers that were having a bad night, and I wound up picking up the win.
You did a great job.
Hey, thanks. I feel bad.
Hey, but you got one right.
I got
two right, actually.
Well, I mean,
you got to give him that.
Yeah,
You got to give him that.
you're right.
I got one on the dot.
You did.
And I got
That's
the
pretty
Hurricanes.
impressive. You know what?
And the Dallas Stars were in the playoffs that year.
They were. They were a hockey team that year.
They were a hockey team, and they played hockey.
That reminds me, we were talking yesterday, you brought up Alex Ferrario describing this team as somewhat of a team that reminds you of golf. And that is what I got out of this gauntlet. You had, just a terrible round, but you hit a hole-in-one.
Yeah, and I wound up winning.
And that's really all that matters.
And now you'll be back on the course tomorrow.
Yes, I will. Absolutely. Yeah. That was gross.
Get your name in the paper.
I'm ashamed.
Paper?
Right. Yeah, if you hit a hole-in-one, you get
Does
your
it
name
have
in the
that?
paper.
Does this still happen that way?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Really?
All right. Cool.
All right, cool.
How much pressure is John Mozeliak under?
Oh, probably quite a bit.
You would think. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet, the name you know and trust to buy your brand new vehicles or your pre-owned vehicles. They've got so many amazing options over there. The Chevy Silverado, which is a truck that I drive and purchased at Londoff Chevrolet, they've got so many makes and models over there, and they all get the Londoff discount, which means you're getting it well under suggested retail price. You have to also take a look at the new 2024 Chevy Trax. These are awesome little SUVs. Great on gas, great space inside, super awesome to look at. New body design. I told you before, my son bought one of these and absolutely loves it. You can't forget that Johnny Londoff also includes a lifetime warranty on all new Chevrolets and most of their pre-owned inventory. The Londoff Pro Certified Lifetime Powertrain Warranty comes at no charge and covers the vehicle for as long as you own it. There are no mileage limits and no time limits, and you don't pay a dime. That's part of the amazing customer service that you get from Londoff Chevrolet, who, by the way, if you don't know by now, they've got two locations. The original location in Florissant, Missouri, and their brand new Londoff Autoplex out in St. Peter. So there's absolutely no excuse not to visit a Londoff Chevrolet location. And when you do, please tell them that Jamie Rivers sent you in. They love hearing that. They know that I've been a customer for over 25 years, and I send people to the right place, which is Londoff Chevrolet. And if you can't get there in person, get there online. They got an amazing website that's easy to navigate, and they've got all the inventory on there, and you can get pre-qualified. So please visit them or visit them at londoff.com or londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
So how much pressure is on John Mozeliak? Here's Ken Rosenthal discussing that very topic.
There's a lot of pressure on Mozeliak right now. There's a lot of pressure on that organization in general, including on Oli Marmol as the manager. The fans there are quite frustrated. And remember, they sold last year. They traded veterans away last year, so this would be a second straight year of deconstructing after they built up again. Remember, they added those starting pitchers in the offseason, Kyle Gibson, Lance Lynn, and, of course, Sonny Gray. They reinforced their bullpen as well. The one thing they didn't do, we talked about this on the broadcast the other day, AJ, was add to their offense. And they were only 19th in the league in runs scored last year. Obviously, Tommy Edman got hurt. Jordan Walker has not proven to be what they thought. Goldschmidt and Arenado have gone backwards. There are a lot of reasons why offensively they're not who they were expected to be. Nolan Gorman is another player who has not produced the way they thought. So there are a ton of questions with this team. And when you ask about the future of Mozeliak, we have to see how these next 2 months play out.
There was nothing that Ken Rosenthal said in that piece, that piece of audio that is surprising. He's absolutely right. This is a team that was expected to, after, we forget what the local, like our angle was, because I thought we really covered the offseason from the standpoint of, we'll see. Doesn't seem like they did a lot to change things, but they do play in a bad division, so they should contend for the NL Central. But if you take a step back and look at it from a national viewpoint like Ken Rosenthal's doing, this was a team that was built to, however you want to use the word compete, but compete. This is not a rebuilding team. This is not a young team. This is not a team that they dismantled and are piecing back together slowly. This is not a team in transition. This is a team with aging stars. Goldschmidt, Arenado. even Wilson Contreras isn't as old as those guys, but you don't add Wilson Contreras to be a team that's just rebuilding.
No.
You don't sign Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn and Sonny Gray if you're a team that's rebuilding. You would just turn the page and say, we got to get younger. So if you're going to build a team that way, yes, the manager and the president, in this case, John Mozeliak, are under immense pressure coming off of last year.
Yeah, they have to be. And you're right. The national media had the Brewers or the Cardinals. You look at their scorecards for predictions of the division, and it was one or the other that was winning this division. And everybody talked about the bounce back that the Cardinals will have and the additions in the offseason. And nobody took it, from what I remember, I didn't hear too many of them talk about them being competitive for a World Series or a pennant or anything like that.
Right.
But they did talk about them winning the Central Division. Well, they're not there right now. So there's got to be pressure on somebody. And actually, it should be everybody. From the ownership to John Mozeliak to Michael Gersh to Oli Marmol to the players to everybody involved. This is massively disappointing. It is a huge underachievement so far. So the pressure has to be on everyone, but when you isolate who the main guy is, like, even though we think that the ownership has a say in a lot of what's going on, the ownership only really has a say in how much money they're willing to spend on certain players and overall budget. After that, it's on John Mozeliak and his staff to find players that fit under that budget umbrella. So the pressure is on the people who put the players on the roster first. Secondly, it falls on the manager and the hitting coach and the bench coach and all those guys. Like, what are you doing to help this team? Or what are we doing to solve some of the problems?
What are you doing to manage
What are you doing to manage the team? Yeah. Then it's the players. And that's the pecking order right there. Before anybody gets traded this year, before there's a massive exodus at the trade deadline or anything like that, someone will have lost their job first. And then worry about trading pieces off. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it might be a situation where you say, okay, yeah, should the players be held more accountable? Yeah. But like you said, that's not how it works. It's the people that build the team. It's the people that manage the team. And then because the players are getting the big contracts and they've got, term and things like that in a lot of situations, they're not going to be the ones that are going to be moved easily. You're not going to take pennies on the dollar for the players that you acquired that you thought were going to be the ones that we're going to bring you back to, the promised land, in this case, an NL Central Division championship.
And the hard part about what the Cardinals have going right now is their biggest pieces of the puzzle are their oldest players.
Right.
That's a problem. If you're not winning, that's a problem. Because now if you're trying to sell off pieces, let's say at the deadline, you're fourth place, you've made some strides, but there's really no playoffs in the picture. What are you getting for Goldie? Not much. What are you getting for Lance Lynn or Kyle Gibson? Maybe they're having good seasons. Somebody'd like to pick them up as an add-on, but what are you really getting for those guys? Because the team that picks them up knows, like, this is it. Like, we're probably not re-signing those guys.
Right.
So you're not going to get a massive premium for those guys. And Nolan Arenado could probably still fetch you something pretty good because he's still got some runway ahead of him. But after that, like, who are you trading that's going to come and just bolster your lineup?
Right.
Wilson Contreras, the whole league had a chance at him. The Cardinals outbid everybody, although I don't think anybody else had even bid yet. Doesn't matter. I like the player.
Yeah,
I do. I like him a lot. I right now have no problem with Wilson Contreras or his contract.
Right.
But the Cardinals did bid against themselves pretty much to run the price up, while nobody else was running to the front of the line for that one. So that tells me that you're selling him off for a trade. They're going to look at the contract and say, well, we wouldn't have paid that. And two, we're good.
Yeah.
So this is a tough spot for the Cardinals. They really, honestly, the only solution for this is they have to start winning. And they have to compete for the division. That's the only solution to this.
You're absolutely right. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. We've got our Sports Six-Pack next. 314-399-9646 to the Air Comfort Service text line. So you have a question, send it into the Air Comfort Service text line. We'll answer it next. It was at some point last year where I looked over at Jamie, and Jamie, I looked at him and man, looking good, dude.
Thank you.
You said, I'm feeling good. So what's your secret? Mentality. Okay. Tell me about it. And when Jamie broke down all the things that he was going through from, working around the clock, he's owning different businesses and things like that. He said he's feeling run down, all that. And all the things he was saying, I was also feeling. So I went down to Mentality, Chesterfield location with Jamie, and completely turned around things for me too. If you're feeling like you don't have enough energy, you reach for another coffee late in the day or an energy drink, and you still don't have enough energy, or you're feeling down, or you're not getting the stuff done that you want to, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to go for more expensive supplements, or are you actually going to go have somebody take a look at the problem and actually get results that you want?
Yeah, and look, for me, it was all about regaining my life. And you get into Mentality, the board certified physicians sit down with you, they talk to you, and they figure out what's going on. And whether it's supplements or whatever it is you're doing wrong, they ultimately get the answers by running a full blood panel, and then it shows exactly what's going on. And so for me, low testosterone and some other vitamins as well. And now I've talked to you, Anthony, about I've increased into the peptide world where old injuries, now it's helping with that, helps with my sleep patterns. And all of this, fellas, it's helping in the bedroom too. Let's not forget about that. Let's not forget about the weight one right there. But head over to Mentality and tell them that Anthony and Jamie sent you, and they love hearing that. And if you can't get there in person, get there online. Visit them at lowtusa.com. Again, that's Mentality at lowtusa.com.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals picked up a victory last night, 10-5 over the Los Angeles Angels. They're looking for their third win in a row tonight as Sonny Gray takes the mound going up against Reed Detmers. 8:38 first pitch out in L.A. Tonight on 101 ESPN, we'll have the Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves Game 5. You can listen to that right here on 101 ESPN with the pregame starting at 9 o'clock. Coming up next, we have our Sports Six-Pack. So if you have a question you want to send our way, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Sports Six-Pack coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
Time for the Sports Six-Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Andrew Marsh.
Question number 1.
All right, so we were just talking about how much pressure there is on John Mozeliak. We got a text from the 314. Can Mo be a part of the front office if you are going to be a seller? And if he is, does that solidify him to be a part of the front office for next season?
Personally, I think if you decide to sell off, John Mozeliak's tenure's probably over.
Agreed.
Like, it'd be a failed experiment. He's got, another year left on his deal? This year and next year, I think?
Yeah. You want him orchestrating, if you know that he's not the guy moving forward, you want him orchestrating a trade deadline deal?
Well, fans probably don't, but...
Who else are you going to get?
Well, I'm just saying the Cardinals might not think that way. We keep having those conversations of what we would do and what the Cardinals will do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think they would do that?
Yes. I do. I think that the Cardinals, as an ownership group, people can say what they want. The DeWitt family, they want to win baseball games. And do they have a different way of going about their business? Maybe, but nobody complained when the team was winning a lot. Nobody complained about the DeWitts, not as much. Anyways, the noise wasn't as loud when you were winning. And what they've done with this ball club, this last couple of years has not been great. Okay, fine. But let's look at the body of work. The body of work is pretty damn good. The Cardinals brand is pretty well known. Now, if you're moving in a new era of Cardinals baseball, I think you have to have a new voice at the top of the food chain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just tough, though. What the Cardinals will do, so Marsh, to your question, I think what the Cardinals would do is they would want Mo to still execute this trade deadline because he's at least experienced, and then they'd either usher him to another part of the organization, or maybe they just mutually agree to part ways. Mm-hmm. You know, Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick mutually agreed to part ways at the end when it was all said and done. Now, there's probably a lot. It's tenuous, but I don't think that's the case with the Cardinals. But nonetheless, I think they would still want that experienced guy. Because if not, who else? What do you want? You have Gershie's
Chaim
first
Bloom
opportunity?
just sitting there, and people talk about him. Now, I said some funny things yesterday about him, but I don't really know what his philosophy is.
Do you want Chaim Bloom?
Why did you bring him in?
Yeah, I agree. But is Chaim Bloom going to be your next president of baseball operations?
Probably.
Then
I mean, not mine, but I'm looking at the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. Why would you? So here, this is the ultimate question. Why would you bring in somebody who's qualified for that job and then not give them that job?
Great point.
It looks like an automatic succession plan.
The Marlins did that.
Well, yeah, the Marlins did that. They screwed up.
They did.
Look what they're doing now.
Yeah. That's another name, Kim Ng. We get a lot of text.
Is that how you pronounce it, Ng?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Kim Ng.
We have a lot of texters that have been bringing up her name.
I'm here for it, guys.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
She did a nice job in Miami. And then something happened where it's like, I don't feel good about this ownership group. And she stepped away.
I'm here for it. Maybe you even bring her in to work alongside Chaim Bloom.
Mm-hmm.
I go back to the regular investment. The first investment, the original one, is you're bringing in Chaim Bloom.
Yeah, you want outside perspective. You're absolutely right. Outside perspective, outside eyes. Tell us what's. I think that was smart. I don't know if Chaim Bloom is smart enough to say, here's what your issues are. I can see it. But you needed somebody from outside the organization. Everybody else is too close at this point.
Does that mean Randy Flores wouldn't get an opportunity because he's been a name that people have thrown out there in the past?
He's done a great job with the drafts.
Has he?
Well, okay, so now it's a question of draft or development because the two aren't hand in hand.
I'm just saying, who's our superstar?
Well, it's supposed to be Jordan Walker.
Yeah, but he's not there yet, and I'll give him time. He's still really young, but apart from
Gorman,
that,
Mason Wynn, these are all under Randy Flores too.
But are they superstars?
Superstars? Not yet.
Are they franchise players?
I don't know.
I think Mason Wynn
might be.
Is a franchise player from what I've seen so far and how he's adjusted. The way he plays defense, I think he can be a star in this league. I don't know if he'll be a superstar by any means, but I think he'll be a name that national people will start to recognize as he progresses.
So. I really like the way he plays, so I hope so.
Yeah. All right. Question 2, please.
Question number 2.
All right, this one comes from Tanisha in the Snake Pit, always throwing out good questions. If you could time travel to any era, which one would you choose? And I'll also throw another question on there, a sports era as well. So if you could live in a certain era, and then you can also pick a sports era that you'd want to watch.
Oh, the 80s. To the 80s, without a shadow of a doubt. Yes. The world was all about indulgence, Anthony. The sports, the same thing. Think of the Lakers, the Celtics, the Oilers, the Islanders. Like, the 80s were an unbelievable era. It's a no-brainer for me.
Wouldn't you want to go to an era that you didn't live in, though?
That was a kid, though. Yeah. I was living it a different way than other people were, Anthony. Like, I have no interest in going back to, like, Roman times and things like that. Like, no, none at all.
Yeah, I'd go back to the
I like the conveniences of life. Like, I don't need a cell phone. I'm fine. In fact, that thing takes up more of my time than I'd like it to. Going back to the 80s, no phones, having a good time, great sports on TV, great sports live. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'd go back to the Roman times. Give me the gladiators.
Oh.
Go ahead. Enjoy that. No air conditioning. Ugh. Sand all over the place.
I'd invent it.
Yeah.
Come on.
Where are you going, Marshy?
Roman Coliseum.
I don't know. I've thought about this before. I think I think the 70s or 80s would probably be cool to live in. I like the different fashion that people had back in the day and whatnot. I think it'd be cool to go to a baseball game or like a hockey game where people used to wear suits and like those funny looking hats back in the day. Like it was
fedora hat.
Yeah, like you dressed to the nines to go watch a sporting event. I feel like I would like to go to one of those games. I don't need to live in that time period, but I think it'd be cool to
just visit
that and sort of experience what the crowd was like during that era. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, that'd be neat. For sure. All right, let's do one more. Apparently the lineup's out.
I saw that. The text lines.
Do we want to get? Let's just get to it. Just get to it.
Well, how many questions did we get in?
We only got 2, but there were 2 really good ones.
Do we carry it over after the lineup? I don't know, guys. We'll talk about it during the break. We'll figure it out.
Next on 101 ESPN.
When it comes to your car or your home insurance, do you truly know your agent? Probably not. Most people have a 1-800 number with a big, huge company, and they've got to try and figure it out along the way. That means figuring out how to get the best rate. It means figuring out if you have the proper coverage. And every time you call with a new question, it's somebody new that answers, and you have to start all the way over again. This is why I choose Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency, because when I call, I get somebody that knows me, my family, can pull up my account quickly, send me information, and they're going to battle. Every time there's rates that change, they're battling for me. Once a year, they ask me if we can go over all of my policies, make sure that I'm covered properly, make sure that something hasn't changed along the way. That is the customer service that you need when it comes to your car, your home insurance, because it's inevitable that something will happen. And when it does, you don't want the stress of dealing with somebody you don't know who maybe doesn't care. You want to have the comfort of dealing with Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency, where they're going to get things done, walk you through the process, and make sure that everything is taken care of exactly the way you need it to be. And all you have to do to get that kind of customer service and get a free non-committal quote, by the way, is give Tracy Bibb a call at 314-328-4260. That's 314-328-4260. It's no fib. You're in good hands with Tracy Bibb.
All right, time for the lineup game here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Reed Detmers on the hill for the Angels tonight. He's a left-hander. Ooh. So this could dramatically change things for the Cardinals after they scored 10 runs last night. I'm sure Oli was really perplexed in what to do. Team scores 10 runs last night, Jamie, but now they got a damn southpaw on the hill tonight.
Yeah.
So what does he do?
I don't know. I don't know if I see a world where Marp is leadoff with a lefty on the bump.
Quite frankly, not a world that I want to live in.
However, I don't know who you're replacing him with, because all of your leadoff hitters are lefties.
I know it seems extreme, Jamie, but, Cardinals are 2-0 with him leading off.
You know how I feel. I hate the matchup game. I hate the lefty, righty. Let's just play the guys who can hit the damn ball.
Right.
Matt Carpenter is he's batted against lefties and righties for so many years. Just go with it.
What do you hate more? The lefty-righty game or the double leadoff crap? What do you hate more?
I think
Jamie?
I hate the double leadoff crap more because I think there's less of an actual advantage to it. I do think that there is an advantage the other way. Like, remember the year Albert was here? Like, lefties were murdered.
Right.
So the double leadoff crap is more of a hot spot for me.
That makes sense. All right.
You're welcome.
Without further ado.
I think it's Matt Carpenter.
I do too. I don't think he's getting away. He's going away from that. Show us Marp.
I don't even know what to say right now. What are you going to go, Brendan Donovan, another lefty? Like, who else is leading off for you? Is this when they finally go Mason Wynn? I have a feeling this could be an ugly lineup game.
All right, well, who do you think?
I don't know. I'm so perplexed as to why you would change that. I don't get it. For me, it's overthinking. But I think the next choice has to be Brendan Donovan. Like,
I agree.
But I don't get it. But that's what I think.
All right. I agree. Go ahead.
Show us Brendan Donovan. Okay. We're off to a hot start, Anthony.
Could be Newt. It could be. I doubt it. I doubt
don't think it's going to be a lefty.
Newt. Okay, so then we can dive into Mason Wynn. We can explore
Dylan
that.
Carlson.
We can explore Dylan Carlson. I don't think he moves up Wynn.
I know, but I think he should. If the other two guys aren't, it's got to be Dylan Carlson then.
I agree.
Go ahead.
Show us Dylan Carlson.
Oh my God! All right, I'm just going to do it. Show us Mason Wynn.
Wow.
Yes! Okay, Ollie, I'm okay with you again.
Wow.
For now.
Mason Wynn.
It's like he was listening to the show earlier today. Probably was.
Probably using the mobile app, the free 101 mobile app that you can download for free.
Yeah, good call on that. All right. Well, fantastic.
It took us a while to get there.
That's okay. Hitting second.
Donnie? Or is it Marp? Is Marp even playing today at this point? Who was here yesterday?
This was... Newt? This was Newt yesterday.
I don't think he'll change that.
Okay, go for it.
Show us Lars Newbar. Okay, apparently he's going to change it. Was it Donovan?
That'd be my guess.
Go ahead.
Show us Brendan Donovan. For those in the snake pit asking about the Sounders, Marsh he has been dead set with this. Okay?
They win
if
tonight.
They win the series, well, that would be tonight, then Marsh will play the Sounders tomorrow. Okay? All right. RL Chalk here?
Yes.
Show us Paul Goldschmidt, please.
Well, it's got to be Arenado. Here he hit a home run yesterday.
Show us Nolan Arenado. All right. This was Gorman yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know if Gorman's in there.
We're right-handed heavy, which makes sense with the lefty on the bump. This could be Gorman still, even though he's a lefty.
Could be Carlson.
Could be Ivan Herrera.
Could be Herrera.
Maybe moves up Herrera.
Well, Herrera was Herrera not here yesterday?
He was 6, I
Was
believe. Yeah, I think Gorman was 5th, and then Herrera was 6th.
Okay. I personally, if I'm Ollie, which I know it makes no sense because he hasn't listened to anything except for moving Mason Wynn up, I would still go with Gorman here.
Go for it.
Show us Nolan Gorman. Everything I'm saying is turning up negative today. Is it Dylan Carlson? That's pretty high in the lineup for Dylan Carlson.
Man, I got to get him going.
And it's a right-handed day because it's not very good.
It's a righty day.
Left side.
Show us Dylan Carlson.
It's got to be Herrera then, no?
Yeah, go ahead.
Show us Herrera. Oh, my gosh. Burleson? But that's lefty.
Well, Donovan, I forgot Donovan's a left-hander. I said right-handed heavy,
Well,
which it
are,
is, but Donovan is up there. Yeah.
You think Burley?
Sure.
Go ahead, man.
Show us Alec Burleson. Okay.
Oh, my goodness. This doesn't make any sense at all. Why would you have Burley instead of Gorman?
I don't know. Okay, does he leave Herrera 6?
I think he has to. Show us Herrera. Wow. I've never quit a lineup game.
Show us
Carlson?
Dylan Carlson.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, well, we got a center fielder.
Yeah. Is Burley the DH today?
Yeah.
So Donovan would be left. So we need a right fielder. Newt?
Yeah. Yep.
Show us Lars Nootbaar. Or is Siani in center and Carlson's in one of the corners?
That could be it too. We still don't have a catcher. We can go Herrera here.
Or is it
Pahis?
Is it Pahis today?
Show us Ivan Herrera. Show us Pahis.
No, I knew he was going to be... You got aggressive there. That's okay. I forgive you.
Well, this is a nightmare.
I forgive you.
This is a nightmare today.
All right. So what do we need? We need an outfielder.
We need a center fielder. We need an outfielder.
And a second baseman.
Unless
Donovan's playing second base. And
maybe this is Gorman. Show us Nolan Gorman. Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right.
This is so ugly.
Still need a catcher. This is Pahis.
Okay, go ahead.
Show us Pahis.
And then, is this Siani? Is he our center fielder? No, he wouldn't be.
No.
Well, yeah, he could be.
It could be Newt. It could be Newt playing right.
Or it could be.
Or it's Siani
we're
in
doing
center.
that double leadoff crap again?
Yeah, double leadoff crap.
Show us Lars Nootbaar. Oh, thank goodness.
Show us Superbad. Run this crap, Marshy.
All right, leading off.
Good gosh.
Leading off, not to be confused with the double leadoff at the bottom of the order, but leading off for your St. Louis Cardinals, the shortstop, Mason Wynn. Batting second in left field, Brendan Donovan. Batting third, first baseman, Paul Goldschmidt. Your cleanup hitter, third baseman, Nolan Arenado. Batting fifth, the DH, Alec Burleson. Batting sixth in right field, Dylan Carlson. Batting seventh, second baseman, Nolan Gorman. Catching, batting eighth, Pedro Pahis. And batting ninth, the center fielder, Michael Siani.
That was tough.
Go foul, go foul! I don't believe what I just saw! Home run!
So, before we get to the home run, when a lefty's on the bump, why would you have a lefty DH? Because you don't have a good righty DH?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your righty DH has the fractured forearm.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It just shows you how much you miss Contreras right now.
Very true.
But wouldn't you, I guess you wouldn't make, I mean, you could make Herrera. They did it before with Contreras and Herrera.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done.
Okay. Pick a home run hitter.
Oh, gosh. You know what? Paul Goldschmidt. Why not?
All right. Marsh.
I don't. Dylan Carlson.
Don't be afraid now.
I don't want Dylan Carlson. Give me Alec Burleson.
All right.
Probably hit it right away, too. Stick it where the
Just
sun don't
because
shine.
we're thinking, oh, why would they have a lefty DH? That doesn't make any sense. He's going to hit a home run tonight. Right into the rocks, right into that little fountain, that little waterfall out in center field.
Give me Nolan Arenado. Go back to back.
All right, Carey Davis. I think we give him Mason Wynn. He has been screaming for Mason Wynn to be lead off all year long. Why would you not lead off Mason Wynn?
Yeah.
I think we give Carey Mason Wynn, and hopefully Mason Wynn hits a lead-off home run.
I like that.
Carey Davis, you've got Mason Wynn.
There you go. All right, we didn't finish our sports six-pack, and after just an absolutely disastrous lineup game, I think we owe it to the people to finish said six-pack, because we need it. That's next on 101 ESPN.
time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six Pack is now.
Before we continue with our Sports Six-Pack, Marsh, you'd like to address something?
Yeah, we got a text from the 314. Where the blank are the Sounders? Why even have this segment then? If I'm not mistaken, the lineup game didn't used to have Sounders.
No.
And then we implemented them in 2022.
Yeah, those Marsh's baby.
So I can make up whatever rule I want.
Yes, I mean, I'm backing
Marshy,
Marsh on
first
this
of all,
one.
we don't treat our listeners that way, okay?
Well,
Anthony, the Fast Lane, as we know it, it's like a large corporation. Now, we own more shares of the company, but our listeners do own shares. They have a seat at the table. Now, only one seat. We occupy 4. So we can outvote our listeners, but we do have to listen to what they have to say. That's how it works in the corporate world.
I agree. Rule number 1, though.
Nobody's safe?
That's correct.
I don't know if it pertains to this one, but
Yeah,
I like
absolutely.
where your head's at.
Hold on. It always pertains to everything that we discuss. Nobody is safe. So you're right. Our listeners, they do have a seat at the stockholder meeting. But if they say something as questionable as what this texter just said to Marsh, then we have every right to take them to the back of the woodshed, on top of the woodshed, underneath the woodshed, in the woodshed, everywhere.
Really?
Rule number 1, Jamie.
Nobody's safe, but you can also...
Thank you, droid.
You can Trojan horse
Nobody's
it.
safe.
You can Trojan horse it to where you voice what they're saying, and we still just outvote them anyways. It's the corporate way. We understand. That's a great idea. I mean, we're not going to do it, but we really help. We really enjoy your participation.
That's not bad.
So you still, nobody's safe.
True.
But you've Trojan horsed it inside a little bit nicer so that our listener doesn't go cry.
Yeah.
As a famous Sith Lord once said,
"Whoa,
I am the Senate."
Oh,
so there we go.
I don't know if I saw that one.
Wow, somebody said, shut the blank up, Jamie, listen to Marsh. Wow. I don't think, I mean, that's pretty ballsy. I'm not going to lie.
Wow.
It's interesting.
Holy smokes.
It's pretty aggressive, pretty quick. Somebody's into the sauce early. No big deal.
It is Tuesday.
Hopefully they got what they needed from my friends over at Dirt Cheap. You download the app and order that right to your home. And the way you sound should be staying at home anyway. So we'll hook you up with our friends over at Dirt Cheap.
Ow.
Anyways, to the Sports Six-Pack.
Yep.
Question number 3.
Part 2, of course. From the 314, if you could change any sports moment, what would you change? Stalter cannot say the 28-3 debacle.
Oh, well, okay then.
Wait, if I can change what?
Any sports moment, what would you change?
Oh, yeah. Steve Yzerman, double overtime up under the bar. I'd like to change that one, please. I mean, I might have a little bit of a personal agenda on that one. But if that doesn't go in, and that Blues team with some really great players, especially on defense, probably goes on to win Stanley Cup. So screw you, Steve.
Good call.
Hope you're not listening because he's a great guy.
Yeah, good call on that. All right. I can't do the 28-3, even though that's kind of the best one. All right. The year after then, the Falcons beat the Rams in the wild card. Then went to Philly and had it first and goal at the 4-yard line with under a minute to play.
No, they must have won that game, though.
Did not punch it in.
Oh.
Marsh, you'll actually appreciate this. So I'd like to
Carey
change.
on that team?
No. This was
2015.
Nope. This was 20. So the Super Bowl was 2017.
Okay.
It was the
2018.
Yeah, it was the 2017 season.
Carey talks about going to Philadelphia.
That was 04.
Okay. I was like, holy
That was
crap.
04. That team was really good. Honestly, how about that? How about for Carey? I'll explain what I meant. What I was going to say to you. You'd appreciate this. But Carey, how about I'll change that moment. The Falcons host that game, that NFC Championship game.
If they did host it.
if I could change where the venue was.
Yeah,
You know
because
what I
they
mean?
didn't host it that
No, it was in Philly. Michael Vick was freezing, did not want to play at all, did not like playing in the cold, and they got run over by Donovan McNabb, and T.O. was on that team. That was the team that went to play the Patriots in the Super Bowl that year.
Probably wouldn't have won the Super Bowl. That game was outside as well.
Well, Marsh.
Wow, Carey, take that.
Wow.
What?
I mean, you got both of us on that.
I'm just saying.
Carey won a Super Bowl with the team that played outdoors, you know.
Yes, he did. Just not that one. Just not that
That was
one.
more of a shot at.
Anyways,
Never
that
mind.
game in the Georgia Dome
Yes.
as opposed to at the Link. All right? I changed that. However, that other game that I was talking about, the divisional round game, Marsh, you get impacted by this. Okay?
Really?
Because if the Falcons score
Yes.
in that game and they hold on to win, Nick Foles and the Eagles, done.
Oh, wow.
That was that team. Falcons had it within the 5-yard line.
And now it comes down to which team is going to blow it in the NFC Championship game.
And you'd be hosting that game.
I would argue that Minnesota probably would have blown it before Atlanta would have. I mean, look, I'll just say right now, I do not feel good as a Minnesota Viking fan because their entire sports just history, other than the Minnesota Lynx, is just bad luck. They had a 2-0 series lead against the Denver Nuggets, who just won the NBA Finals last year. You know, what's the series at now, Anthony?
Oh, boy.
It's at 2-2.
They look
probably
great
gonna
the first
drop,
two.
That doesn't matter. They're probably going to drop 4 in a row.
Sorry, buddy.
I mean, I'm not a fan of the Timberwolves. I could care less about them.
Well, but still.
I care about the Vikings, though.
You're Minnesota, you know. But Marsh, okay, so instead of Tricky Nicky hosting you guys, you're hosting us.
Yeah, you know what? That it's probably best that the Vikings didn't go to the Super Bowl that year. I don't know how they would have fared against Tom Brady, who threw for like over 500 yards.
That'd have been tough.
Also, imagine if the Patriots didn't go to the Super Bowl, and it would have been Case Keenum and the Vikings against Blake Bortles and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That'd be a rough watch.
That'd be terrible.
That'd be a rough watch.
I mean, I'd have a lot of fun.
Oof. Anyways. All right, so if I can't change 28-3, I'd go 0-4 first, but I would give consideration to that 2017-18 debacle.
Question number 4.
From the 314, please tell me I'm wrong. At the beginning of the year, didn't Oli say that the lineup was going to be much more consistent this year? Herrera had 2 hits yesterday. Why sit him?
Yeah, I don't understand why you're not getting more reps for Herrera. There must be a reason, but I just don't know what it is.
And
I agree.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe Pedro Pajis was catching Sonny Gray's last game.
So maybe there's that. Maybe Sonny Gray feels comfortable with him or something.
Well, I mean, he couldn't be that comfortable. He didn't do that well.
That's true. That's
that
right.
was not a great day, Anthony.
Good call on that. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, he did say that. Now, in fairness, you're dealing with some injuries. Jordan Walker's also in Memphis. Contreras is on the IL, so it's not like he could run out a stagnant lineup. Now, after scoring 10 runs last night, even against a lefty tonight, I would have been fine with him running out the same lineup tonight. But, Jamie, I'm not in charge.
Nope.
Neither are you.
Should be.
Probably.
Question number 5.
From the 314, are you
going to the mall later?
No, mister.
Keep spelling.
Are you watching Caitlin Clark's debut in the WNBA tonight? Thanks.
I'm just going to be honest. No, I'm not. And it's not because I'm not interested. I'm just more interested in Florida-Boston tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest.
Yep.
And, yeah.
These NHL playoffs have been fantastic. I also love the opportunity to see our Cardinals go for 3 in a row.
There's a lot of action going on in the sports world, and it's tough because you can't catch all of it.
Right. Yeah, so I agree. I probably miss it too.
I'll check out the highlights.
We'll get a full breakdown from our guy Jackson.
That's true. Yeah, he'll have it in the balloon party tomorrow.
Yeah, Sir Piddles there.
Yes, sir.
Question number 6.
From the 314, going to the Cardinals game on Sunday, I like to eat before the ballpark. First pitch is at 12:05. Should I have brunch,
or an early lunch?
Always go with brunch.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a combination of breakfast and lunch. It's outstanding.
It's the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
You could have a wafale as well as a sando.
You could. Yeah. I agree.
It's outstanding. Yeah, you got to go with the brunch.
I agree. You can get some.
It's like there's no rules. With
No, there
brunch.
really isn't.
Just right.
Just right.
I think that's been used.
Nah, I doubt it. Trademark it.
Go ahead. Do that.
See how far I get?
Yeah, he's fine.
It's a fast lane on 101 at ESPN. Could Skip Schumaker and Chaim Bloom find themselves in new positions with the Cardinals next year? Well, Ken Rosenthal explored that possibility. You'll hear the audio next on 101 ESPN.
Oh, boy.
It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Ken Rosenthal appeared on Foul Territory, was asked, could Skip Schumaker and Chaim Bloom find themselves in new positions with the Cardinals next year? Here's Ken exploring the idea of that possibility.
I would say maybe Skip has a better chance of being there than Chaim. I just see Skip as being a guy who's going to be out of Miami for sure. I'm not certain that the Cardinals will want to elevate Chaim. He's a special advisor now. It certainly is possible, and you can look at Boston in one of two ways. A lot of the things that he did, you're seeing the fruits of that right now. At the same time, it took the new regime coming in to dramatically overhaul their pitching program. They're pitching like this with similar players that they had before. So what's the difference? The difference is the new regime, the emphasis that they've made in certain areas with pitching. And that, I would say, is kind of a negative on Chaim Bloom's tenure there. So I don't know exactly how this is going to play out, but the Cardinals are, without question, a team that we are all looking at and wondering what their future is going to be, both immediately, can they salvage this season, and long-term, will John Mozeliak remain president of baseball operations?
Okay. What do you think of Skip? The idea that Skip Schumaker has a possibility come back here.
So let me ask you this. Let me answer your question with a question.
I hate this.
No, seriously. What is different from what Skip Schumaker has done from what Oli Marmol did? No, think about it. Ollie's first year as manager, the Cardinals make the playoffs. The next year is a disaster. Skip Schumaker, first year, they make the playoffs. Next year is a disaster.
Yeah, but
what?
Ollie got lucky. Okay. Skip did not.
Prove that.
I can't, Jamie.
But that's my point, Anthony.
Skip's more likable.
I'm not disagreeing.
To the fan base.
I'm not disagreeing. And Skip is a way bigger household name here in Cardinal Nation. And Skip Schumaker is a tremendous individual. And from what I know of Oli and Marmol, he's a damn good guy, too. Okay? Yeah. Fine.
Right.
But everybody screams, Lisa, if you're listening, turn up your radio. Because Lisa's always yelling about Skip. What if we had Skip? I haven't heard her say that in a long time, Anthony. You know why? The Marlins suck. They do.
They're turning it around.
Are they really?
No.
No, they're not. Now, is that all Skip's fault? No, but why do we absolve Skip then?
I know, I agree. Okay. But you did the whole thing where you asked the question to the question, and, you know.
So that's my thought, is Skip ready to be a manager?
Yes, I think he's ready to be a manager. But to your overall point, it's...
what's the big difference?
Look, here, baseball, unless you have Bruce Bochy, baseball is run through the front offices now. It's a fact. Do you know how I know that? Look at the Milwaukee Brewers. Still in first place. Different roster than a couple of years ago. Gave away their best players. Traded them away. Insulted them on the way out. Still in first. It's about the front office. Mm-hmm. So I'm with you on that. I think the manager more appeases the fan base, quite frankly.
And I'm not petitioning for Skip not to have this job. That's not my point.
Your overall point is he hasn't done much else outside of Oli. Yes, you're right.
You know, some of the texts are like, well, he was with Oli when they made the playoffs that year.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It is. It's a great point. And again, I'm not petitioning to have Skip Schumaker not get the job. Mm-hmm. He might be the best guy for it, but if we're sitting there and we're trying to work in absolutes, like this is absolutely the guy, then at least let's back it up.
Yeah, be fair.
And people are like, well, some of Skip's best players are hurt. Really? Because there hasn't been any injuries here, right, for the Cardinals?
There's been a couple.
Quite a few.
Right.
So just saying, apples to apples.
I think the next president of baseball operations, that is the key.
I don't think
because he's going to hire the manager anyways.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting conversation because we talk about some fans wanting just new, fresh faces, but you also want to bring back a guy that was already part of the organization where...
But it's a guy they like. That's the difference. It's a guy they like. Let's just be real. They like Skip. They don't like Oli.
That's exactly what it is, because they go, well, it's not apple to apples. Their rotation is hurt. What did our rotation look like last year here in Cardinal Nation? You had Waino that was hurt. You had Matz that was hurt. Flaherty that was hurt. But Ollie's to blame. But Skip is not to blame.
This is, I'm telling you flat out.
I know it's because I get it.
And
I get it.
If Cardinals fans are being honest, they would say the same thing. If the texters were, they say the same exact thing.
So what happens if they bring him in and nothing changes?
Skip? And it may not.
Yeah.
It might not. I don't think it will. You give him this roster of underperforming players, it's going to be the same results. I miss the part where a manager in today's game can come in outside of Bruce Bochy and sprinkle the magic pixie dust all over the clubhouse and say, okay, we're good now. It's about the roster. The assembled roster, this collection of players, has not worked for a year plus now. I don't think if you change the manager, things are dramatically going to be different. I don't think if you extract Skip Schumaker and put him in St. Louis, that all of a sudden you have a first-place team. I don't. I think it's about the front. It's more about the front office in baseball.
Yeah, I agree. And I just want listeners to just be honest with themselves. The same texter says, I am being honest. I don't agree with you. I think you're wrong. No, they weren't hurt. Really? Steven Matz wasn't hurt last year.
He's always hurt.
Adam Wainwright literally said his body was falling apart as he tried to get to 200. Jack Flaherty was hurt. Like, you had lots of guys that went through the injury problems. All I'm asking is just be honest with yourself. Like, would Skip be a huge difference as opposed to Oli? The answer might be yes.
Well, okay.
But at least compare the two situations and be honest about it.
Let's do this then. If we're going to go down this route, give Oli the pitching staff that Skip had a year ago. Where is Oli now? Same exact pitching staff that the Marlins had a year ago. You give that exact staff to Oli. Do things change?
Okay, to add on to that, what would you say if I told you about a text that says, well, Skip was dealt a bad hand with the team that was constructed. What have we talked about the Cardinals for the last 2 years?
Poorly constructed. They can't evaluate, can't self-scout.
So these texts are actually helping my case.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying that Oli is the answer. I'm not saying that Skip isn't the answer. I'm just saying, if you do the side-by-side, the scale's pretty darn even.
I think Walrus King nailed it from the snake pit. Give up, Jamie.
Yeah.
Fans aren't irrational.
You're right. I apologize.
Say you're wrong.
To absolutely nobody.
Oh, Jamie. Come on.
Nope.
Conor McGregor over here.
You admit that you're wrong right now.
For what?
Your take.
Take this.
All right, we need a new...
For what?
We need a new Beat the Street contestant, so... Oh, we do?
Yeah.
He had a good run.
He did, yeah. Nick had a nice little streak going, but Lars Nootbaar, what are you going to do? That's probably why he's not in the lineup.
Can I use any of the 3 walks from Taylor Ward last night as one hit?
No, I don't know if that works.
It doesn't work that way. He did get on base 3 times. No? All right.
I don't make the rules, Anthony.
Okay, Beat the Streak is next, but again, we do need a new Beat the Streak contestant. 314-399-9646. If you want to play Beat the Streak, we'll do that next. Plus, we got the biggest question today. When it comes to our guy Stewie, not only is he going to save you money over the course of your loan, but he's also going to put you in a better financial spot too when it comes to maybe increasing the offer on a home that you want, or increasing the opportunity you have to maybe rebuild the kitchen or redo the basement. That's because he's got the bagel loan, Jamie. The bagel loan, man, what a fantastic program.
Yeah, it is. And all you have to do is borrow $200,000 or more. And there's no underwriting fees, no appraisal fees, no title fees, lender fees, closing costs. All of that is zero. That's because Stewie takes care of all of his customers. And it's that old school customer service that Stewie, he gives everybody. And when you give him a call, you can ask him anything. The housing market, the Federal Reserve, the interest rates, no matter what it is, Stewie's going to help you save money. And if you're purchasing the home, he's going to help you get to the table, the closing table. And that's all you want.
Yeah. Within like 2 weeks, too.
Yeah, 10 to 14 days, sometimes depending on the scenario. So please give our guy Stewie a call, his personal cell phone number, and he answers it. I can tell you that because I've used it several times. That number is 314-324-4440.
Again, that number is 314-324-4440.
Give our guy Stewie a call. Tell him that Anthony and Jamie sent you in. He loves hearing that. And if you can't remember that number, Anthony, what can you do?
You can always Google the Bagalone.
NMLS number 226715.
BT here with you for my friends over at Mentality. Fellas, maybe you're dealing with low energy, a lack of motivation. Maybe you're moody, could be irritable. You know what these are? These are all signs of low testosterone. It doesn't matter what age you are. That can affect any man out there, but there's an answer. The answer is Mentality, and you got to check them out at the website, lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com. Mentality is also covered by most insurances, fellas. Get in there, check them out. It's Mentality.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals look for their third straight win in a row as they take on the Los Angeles Angels tonight. Sonny Gray going up against Reed Detmers with a first pitch of 8:38. The Cardinals coming off a 10-5 victory last night over the Halos. Tonight, the Denver Nuggets take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Game 5 between those two teams, round 2 of the NBA playoffs. Pre-game for that one starts at 9 o'clock, and you can listen to it right here on 101 ESPN. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find everything there, and it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have Beat the Streak and biggest question of the day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
I want to hit baseballs.
All of my successes depend on me.
You're ready to hit.
The hits just keep on coming.
And his first big league hit is a ball
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Time to play Beat the Streak, and we've got Hayden on the line. What's up, Hayden?
Doing all right. How you doing tonight?
We're doing great, man. Thanks for playing Beat the Streak. Marsh, what do we got for the latest streaks here?
All right, so myself and Carey have a streak of... No, I'm sorry. I have a streak of 2. Carey has a streak of 1. And Anthony, Jamie, unfortunately, your streak came to a close after last night.
Super bad. Screwed me over.
And then now we have Hayden, who will start his streak.
All right, so without further ado, Marsh, go ahead.
All right, I am looking at this lineup. I like Mason Wynn at the top of the lineup, baby. Give me a leadoff hit from Mason Wynn to start the game.
There you go.
And if he doesn't and he gets a hit later in the game, I'll be happy with that too.
Yeah, it all counts. Just got to get a hit. All right, so technically what, Carey or Jamie?
Carey.
Carey.
Oh, you stole his Mason Wynn. You're such a jerk.
You are. Wow. Let's give him...
Carey went with Goldschmidt yesterday.
All right, Goldie again.
Oh.
No, you want him?
No, you're giving it to Carey.
No, he's not here. He's not here. So, you want Goldie? You got him.
I was going to double down with Goldie.
There you go. You got him.
Now we got to pick one for Carey.
Hayden, who do you want?
Oh, yeah, let Hayden go first.
Yeah.
Right.
I was also going to take Mason Wynn, so...
No, we're not going to screw Marsh. We'll only screw Carey.
Hey!
So I'm going to go with Nolan Arenado.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so who do we give Carey then? Gorman? Donovan?
How about Pedro Pajis? He's
Yeah.
due for one.
Do you think
He loves Pajis. He talks about him all the time.
Does he?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, CD.
Yeah. Let's go with him.
All right.
And then why don't you give me the guy that almost killed somebody in the left bleachers last night, Kevin Pillar.
Oh,
absolute frozen rope.
He hit that thing 125 miles an hour, I think. The sound that came off that bat scared me.
Man. All right, there you have it. Hayden, good luck. Hopefully we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Sounds fine.
All right, buddy. There you go. Let's beat the streak here on 101 ESPN. Now, biggest question of the day.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
All right, gentlemen. I got a message from one of our listeners on the old X today, Jake, who likes sending mic drops and being involved in the show.
Jake the Snake?
Jake the Snake.
Neighbors.
Not Jake Neighbors, no. No, a different Jake.
Jake Paul?
No, not Jake Paul.
Jake Taylor.
No, just listener Jake. Anyways,
least you could do is say you're from the Yankees.
Go ahead, Andrew.
All right, this is, I found this interesting. From 2005 to 2022, Yachty's first full season to his final season, the Cardinals had a record of 1,552 and 1,261. Good for a .552 win percentage. From 2023 to May 14th of 2024, obviously post Yachty playing days, the Cardinals are 88 and 115. The record, good for a .433 win percentage, which is under 500, not good. And Jake goes on to say that, these numbers are important because it shows two things. One, it validates Yachty's career and the importance of his career in that 20-year span. And it also could explain Yachty's ability to mask certain deficiencies that this team has had. Would you agree with that sentiment that Yachty, throughout, we'll say at least the past 5 to 6 years, while he was playing, that he was able to mask a lot of deficiencies from this team?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jordan Montgomery was a 4th starter for the Yankees. 4th. And I liked him a lot. I happen to watch the Yankees a lot. My father's a huge Yankees fan from New York. He loved Jordan Montgomery. He's like, I always liked Jordan Montgomery, lefty.
When we traded for him, you were super excited.
Yeah.
We were all like mid on it, like, and you're like, no, he's a really good pitcher.
But he was a fourth guy. And the Yankees looked at him and said, we can give him up. We want more speed in center field. We'll trade for the injured Harrison Bader. Montgomery gets here, and he starts working with Yachty. And all of a sudden, things change almost dramatically. Eventually gets to Texas, wins a World Series. I don't know what the hell happened with his market this year, but he wasn't the only one. Obviously, we saw Blake Snell being impacted by it too. Other hitter, Matt Chapman, some other hitters too, Cody Bellinger. So I don't know what the market happened. But Jordan Montgomery became a really good pitcher, and he immediately credited Yadi Molina.
Yeah.
Certain pitches, certain counts.
Inside. He never trusted himself to pitch inside.
Yeah.
Yadi kept calling it inside.
So you had we call Jose Oquendo the secret weapon. Absolutely. But Yadi, too. I mean, Yadi was an X factor for your pitching staff each and every year. So, yes, I think Yadi did mask a lot. And that's not taking anything away from Wilson Contreras or anybody else, but it's just pumping up Yadi the way he should be pumped up.
Yeah, I think he masked a lot, and I think that he also upgraded the pitching to where he got the most out of guys. And out of certain guys, he got more than maybe anybody else could extract.
Yes.
And that was just because of his knowledge of the game, his knowledge of the catching position and of the pitchers, the pitches, where to call pitches, where to place pitch, all that stuff. I mean, you'd be foolish not to think that Yadier Molina would not be a difference maker.
Sure.
Now, are there certain situations last year where I think Yadi could have created miracles? I don't know. When you've got injured Steven Matz, when you've got a 25% of Adam Wainwright, and Miles Michaelis struggling the way he is, could Yadi have made a difference? You'd be a fool to say no, but how much would that difference have been? Would it have been enough to make that team even a playoff contender? That I don't know. And that just shows me one thing, is if you have a situation where Yadier Molina maybe couldn't have made a difference with your pitching staff, you probably had the wrong staff, or you had some pretty bad injuries.
Good call.
I also wonder how much difference would have been made of just having him in the dugout. I think what was the interview? I believe it was Oli Marmol talking with Xavier Scruggs, and that was before the season started, and Oli sort of alluded to, him going to Yadi and Albert and these big-time veteran players, just seeing what they're seeing, and like you don't have that anymore. No. You don't even have Wainwright in there.
Yeah, very true.
So maybe that's the difference in why this team is struggling so much, because I mean those guys, Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado, they're all-stars. They're potential Hall of Famers. You say the whole thing. They are not Albert Pujols, and they are not Yadier Molina. Those guys, they're different.
Very true.
They're very different.
I think that's why the Cardinals went back to the well, too. I think that's why they went back to Lance Lynn, Matt Carpenter, brought in Kyle Gibson, because they are realizing that the void of those particular types of individuals were bigger than they thought they would be. And now they're trying to backfill the hole.
Right.
But it's difficult to do it that way.
Right. Yeah, because they're not Albert Pujols.
Or Yadi or Waino.
Right.
Those guys, like I said, they're just different. That's why they are who they are.
No doubt.
You can't replicate that.
Nope. You're right.
We have Bet the Board, 3 stars of the day, criticisms, compliments next on 101 ESPN. Just got this note from Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. Hailstorm is forcing them to have an absolutely huge vehicle sales event. So head down to Herculaneum. 500 used vehicles and 200 new Nissans, all discounted, thousands for immediate sale. Now is the time to head down to Herculaneum. Get with their sales team, who are fantastic, by the way, and talk to them about the discounts that they have. We're talking about discounts of up to $20,000 off retail value, all at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. They need room for more cars. They have drastically discounted every hailstorm car for immediate sale. Lenders on the site for immediate financing and delivery, and they've got financing options for everyone. You're not going to want to miss one of the largest sales in discounts in Auto Centers Nissan history. And again, it's all out in Herculaneum, so get to Auto Centers Nissan in Herculaneum right now for that hailstorm sale that they have. Again, 500 used cars and 200 new Nissans, all discounted, thousands for immediate sale, discounts up to $20,000 off. Head down to Herculaneum right now for Auto Centers Nissan's hailstorm event. Get yourself a new ride or a pre-owned vehicle. Auto Centers Nissan, Herculaneum. All right, time to bet the board here in the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN.
My bad.
We got a lot going on.
I was like, no, my guy didn't get hit yesterday. Like, wrong segment.
Wrong segment. You had the Stars last night, correct?
I did.
Yes. Marcia had the Avalanche.
I certainly did.
Carey, we gave him the Thunder, correct?
We gave him the Thunder from down under?
No. If he wants that, that's on his own. But no, we gave him the Oklahoma City Thunder, who won outright. So we gave him a win.
You ever throw a 3-game losing streak?
Yeah, 6-game winning streak. 6-game winning streak followed by a 3-game losing streak. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.
That was 2023 St. Louis Blues.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Crap sandwich right there.
Thanks. Yeah, extra crap on the top. Yeah, he doesn't mention the 6-game winning streak, only the 3-game losing streak.
What have you done for me lately?
Yeah, you're right about that. Hey, if you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com, your 101 ESPN mobile app, all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We thought about giving him Cleveland. We would have won either way. That Carey Davis, he's a lucky bird. All right, so what do we got?
All right, Anthony, you're still in first place, 6-3. I'm in second, 5-4. Jamie's at 2-7. He is in fourth, and Carey, who is not here, is 3-6.
All right, give me the Cardinals over 3.5 runs tonight.
For them or the game?
That's it. For them. For them. That's a crime. 3.5 runs? Now, I know Mark's not in the lineup, but against Reed Detmers, the way this team's been rolling, over 3.5 runs, Cardinals.
I'm a man of the people. I'm going to look at a tweet that we received from our pal Swan, and this says the Marlins have won their 44th game of the season, 11 years in a row.
I saw that.
Tonight they take on the Detroit Tigers. I'm taking the Miami Marlins money line.
There you
It's
go.
not a bad call.
No.
The Tigers stink, too. They stink.
Fine. Fast lane, fine.
Ish.
Game already started, by the way.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it's 0-0 bottom one. I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it.
All right.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. All right, it's me?
Yes.
All right, I'm going back to the Stanley Cup playoffs. Would love to have taken Florida, but they're a massive favorite at minus 215. I'm going with Vancouver Canucks. I don't know why they are plus 170 on the game. They're going back to Vancouver. Edmonton is without their starting goalie. I don't know. I've got Vancouver in this one.
They're in Edmonton tonight.
No, they're not. Canucks are up 3-1. They'd be back in Vancouver, wouldn't it?
I don't think so.
I think they're up 2-1.
They're up 2-1.
Are they up 2-1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 2-1.
Oh, that's right, because their series was the last one to start. How stupid was that?
There you go.
I'm still going with the Canucks.
Yeah.
Who do we want for Carey?
Oh, let's see here.
Let's give him the Bruins.
He typically goes.
Give him the Oilers.
He typically goes NBA.
Yeah, he does.
I think we should either give him the Knicks minus 1.5 against the Pacers or the T-Wolves plus 4.
I was looking at the Knicks game for Carey.
Knicks too?
Yeah.
Let's give him the Knicks minus 1.5. There you go. That's the New York Knickerbockers.
Yes.
Marsh. And I want you to spell the whole word out.
No chance.
Don't abbreviate.
I abbreviated it.
Yeah, right.
Is that okay?
No.
Yeah, it's taking the shortcut, Marshy, but that's
You know
fine.
what? I'll redo it.
Thank you.
I wrote down Knicks minus 1.5.
Thank you.
I'll change it to NYK.
I'd like to see New York Knickerbockers.
Yes.
No.
All right, what do you got?
All right, real quick, we'll get this. This one's from the Water Boy. I think what this show does best is they keep the teams and people accountable. They set the rules and follow them to a T. No one is safe, even when the listeners call them boomers or jerks or a dingus. The fast lane perseveres, and that's what makes them a legend. And we all know, legends never die.
Got us. Nice job. Well done, Waterboy.
All right, let's get to our 3 stars of the day. Our third star of the day is going to go to the 2019 Dallas Stars, who won the division apparently and also were a wild card team.
First time ever, guys.
First time ever,
First
Bob.
time ever, yeah. I used the stars in 3 questions.
That was
today.
great.
Still won.
You did.
Our second star of the day, a courtesy of the Snake Pit and the text line, to me for standing my ground on the Sounders. So shout out to me.
Wow.
We'll take that.
Nice job, Marshy.
And our first star of the day goes to Skip Schumaker.
Yeah.
Yesterday was Drew Rom. Today it's Skip. So.
Yeah, I like that a lot. For Andrew Marsh
Good job,
and
Skip.
Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. We
Crushing it
appreciate
this
everybody listening and watching. See ya.